flex their muscles. 6 big flies buried the Athletics, and young slugger Miguel Sano hit a mammoth home run deep to center field, shocking the Target Field crowd. Now the A's have struggled on this 9-game trip, and the offense needs to get into gear. Tonight, Kendall Graveman gets the ball for the green and gold. He has been one of the best starters this season, and he will need to shine once again if the A's want to even up this series. It's the A's and the Twins. Game 2 is coming up next. Well, we are at Target Field in downtown Minneapolis, and after a tough night last night, the A's will try to bounce back tonight. They'll have to slow down that guy, Miguel Sano, and it'll be Kendall Graveman's turn to take the hill. It is Game 2 of the series. It's the Oakland A's and the Minnesota Twins, brought to you by NBC Sports California, and it's powered by Xfinity. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. The Minnesota Twins have some very good young talent. They're also being patient with that talent. Ray, one guy who's starting to put it all together, Miguel Sano, big man with big power.
He is unbelievable what he did last night and what he's been doing in this young season. Paul Molitor, his manager, really excited about his power and also what he's doing at third base, playing some pretty good defense. But he showed his power and has shown it. What he did last night, going straight away to center field. This is one that he hit. This was Kansas City, but watch this shot. This is straight away center here at Target Field. The second deck, only the second one ever hit there. Poor lady had to endure the hard drive coming into her, but what a big, strong young man, and he is playing great defense. I think it all works together for him.
Kendall Graveman making his second start since coming back from the disabled list, and with the A's really struggling on this road trip, they need Graveman to come up big tonight.
You know, everybody's talking about his great sinker. He can elevate his fastball, throw it 97, 98. You're going to see some sinkers, and his numbers have been outstanding. But when he throws his sinkers, as he did against the Texas Rangers, started it in against the left-handers, he could continue to do that against them, but he could also do it against the right-handers, bring it from the back door and down and in. So his sinker is great, fastball is good, cutter is outstanding. He's just a very good pitcher, and he works quickly. And I think all the infielders like that.
Minnesota Twins will send the veteran left-hander Hector Santiago to the mound. Santiago looking for his 3rd win of the year. Now, when we come back, we will check in with the A's pregame live studios and then back to Target Field for Game 2 of the series.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich, only at Jack in the Box.
So we're set for baseball from Target Field. The Minnesota Twins and the Oakland Athletics, game 2 of the series. It's another comfortable night here at the ballpark. A little on the chilly side, but not bad. Miguel Sano, he's a happy man. Look at his numbers. I'd be happy too. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 60 degrees. That's the same temperature as last night. Nice little light breeze, but a good night for baseball. Crowd still filing in. And there's a great look at one of the good ballparks, Target Field. Starting lineup for the A's. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Davis, Plouffe, Healy, Davis, Fegley, Rosales, Alonso, Pinder, and Joyce. And Hector Santiago is ready to go. He kicks and delivers the first pitch of the ball game, and it's a ball.
How you doing, Cave?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, a little short of breath right now.
Well, that was fast. Santiago.
he was ready to go. Let's get this thing going.
Start time under 7:10. Santiago traded from the Angels to the Twins last year. We've seen Ricky Nolasco a couple of times this year already. The man he was traded for, 2-1 record on the season. With a very good changeup, good fastball where he strikes to throw a lot. Kip, I agree with you. The A's need somehow to get some offense going and be able to score some runs and take a little pressure off Kendall Graveman, although he's pitched great considering lack of run support. Rajai happy to be back in the lineup.
Rajai Davis 1 for 4 last night. 1-2 pitch. Driven towards center. Buxton backs up, and Buxton makes the catch. So 1 away here in the first inning. Defensively, for the Minnesota Twins, and they will line up like this. It's a good young outfield. Lots of speed. Rosario left, Buxton in center, Kepler in right. Sano and Escobar on the left side, Dozier, Maurer on the right side. Jason Castro once again doing the catching for Hector Santiago. So 1 out. Here's the former Twin Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe, a popular interview yesterday before the game, but more mellow today for the former Twin. He was 1 for 4 last night.
Tough to have a parade when it's snowing and raining on Monday in the off day, but
yeah,
they decided to postpone it.
On the ground is short. Escobar charges across the diamond. 2 outs. Calling balls and strikes tonight is Mark Wegner. Mike Malinsky, Marty Foster, and Mike Winters. That's the crew chief, Mike Winters. I'm saying that because I'm imitating our good friend Hawk Harrelson, who had a little disagreement with Mark Wegner a couple years back,
and
which was
a few other umpires. Is there an umpire that he has not had a disagreement?
That's true.
Hawk is the greatest.
It was a little extra special with Mr. Wegner.
Trevor Plouffe just got the pretty good changeup from Santiago, and that's one of his very good pitches. And Plouffe out in front, rolled over, a little ground ball, and came out of his hand looking like a fastball, and that's why Trevor swung at it. And actually, pretty good pitcher's pitch. The fact that it was off speed.
Yeah, the A's just seem to be in between right now offensively. They missing the fastballs to hit. Just missing good sliders. So it's been a struggle. The A's have scored 17 runs total in the last 8 games, and to no surprise, they've lost 7 of those last 8. So trying to figure it out. That's the numbers in this stretch. A 190 batting average. That one picked up by Santiago. Another changeup, and Santiago has a 3-up, 3-down inning. And when we come back, the Twins will face that man, Kendall Graveman. lineup for the Minnesota Twins tonight is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Dozier, Kepler, Sano, Mauer, Vargas, that's Kenny's Vargas in the lineup tonight, followed by Castro, Escobar, Rosario, and Buxton. Here's your Twins starting lineup.
Kendall Graveman starting for the Athletics. Last start against the Angels. Went 6 innings, coming off the disabled list, making his 5th start. Kendall Graveman, I just would like to see him tonight in a camo hat or jersey or something, because he pitched on Memorial Day last year and July the 4th. Both times against the Twins, beat them at home and here at Target Field. 2 great games. In fact, the game he pitched here, he was upstairs. Of course, at the Coliseum, they played Sweet Home Alabama. And while he was upstairs, they played the song. He said, I heard that. Why were they doing that here? But got it going. Had a great game against the Twins here at Target Field. Like to duplicate that tonight.
Facing Dozier, hit a couple of home runs last night, did Dozier. 2-0 the count to the Twins second baseman. .250 with 4 home runs, 10 RBIs on the season. But lots of power in the leadoff spot. 42 home runs last year for Dozier. Only 2 guys hit more. Nelson Cruz hit 43 and Mark Trumbo hit 47. And Chris Davis, Edwin Encarnacion hit the same amount, 42.
So you think he might have the green light, 3-0?
Yeah.
He might not be your prototypical leadoff hitter who would take a lot of pitches. With his kind of power, he may be swinging.
In first strike. 3-1 the count with Max Kepler at the on-deck circle. Harmon Killebrew hit 40 or more home runs in a season 7 times. And Dozier only the second guy to do it. Missed down, and it's a leadoff walk. Here's the A's defense tonight. Davis, and Joyce in the outfield once again. Plouffe, Rosales, Pinder, and Alonso on the infield. And Josh Phegley is the catcher tonight.
Now for Kendall Graveman, Bob Melvin, of course, knows his pitcher on the mound is a ground ball pitcher, and a lot of talk all day coming even to the park about how Kendall Graveman throws a very good sinking fastball, good ground ball pitcher, and sometimes as a result gets a double play, and that's what he's hoping for right now.
Graveman, as Ray said, pitched very well in his last start at the Angels. The 2 runs he gave up were in the very first inning, and then he really settled in and pitched extremely well after that.
Yeah, and one call, the 2-2 fastball to Mike Trout, had it been called a strike, might have been a different story for him in the game. It went as a ball, and that opened up the inning.
88% fastball, so he's in that Bartolo Colon area. 88%.
Look at the movement, and that's why you have the kind of movement on the fastball. Of course, that's a 2 and 4 seam fastball. They'll throw the cutter, so 97% of the time he's going to have some movement, either going away from the right-hander, inside of the right-hander. Same with the lefty, and he just threw a very good sinker to Kepler. Started inside like he did against the Rangers down at Arlington, his second start. That game he had 12 ground ball outs.
Well, tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Well, Graveman really second half of last year started to throw that fastball more, and it worked great, and he's just carried it over into this season. One and 2 to Kepler. Just missed. Good pitch, though.
Well, this is where catcher. Just tell the umpire, don't give up, because he's got a lot of movement on his pitches, especially the 2-seamer inside. And I would think if Paul Molitor does anything, he'll have his runners on the move with a hit and run. Phegley throws well, so he may shut down the running game.
And he got Kepler swinging.
Good sinking fastball, no contact, but pitch maybe out of the strike zone in that gray area. Last night pitch cast showed it as a strike. This one out of the strike zone, but 95 and a sink. That's unbelievable to get that kind of movement and the velocity of 95. And it's effortless too. It's like a hitter, Sano swinging so effortlessly.
Increase in velocity. but still the same amount of movement on his pitches. Usually, the more velocity you get, your pitch straightens out a little bit. Heck, you could even maybe make the point that Graveman's ball is moving a little bit more this year. He just maybe has a little better control of it.
That's a good point. That was a good two-seam fastball that he started outside to Sano, brought it back over the corner. And there's your little cutter. So he's going one away, one in, one away. And I wouldn't take a chance so much inside to this power guy. Maybe try to get him to beat the ball on the ground and get a double play.
Sano leading the American League in RBIs with the 27. This was a long one.
If there's ever a big fly, this was it. I think Sonny Gray was just admiring it, seeing how far it was going to go, and that poor lady that took it on the chin, literally.
Dozier runs, and the ball's rolled foul, so Dozier had a good lead and a decent jump. RBI leaders in the American League. Sano at 27. Aaron Judge has 25. Nelson Cruz 24. Pujols 23. Jose Ramirez from the Indians has 21. That's your RBI leaders in the American League. Decent outing for Sonny Gray, maybe a little rusty.
Asked Kurt Young about the little hesitation. He's winding up. It's something he did in Nashville.
And the pickoff attempt off of Alonso's glove. It's going to roll into foul territory. Dozier's going to try for third. The throw is just a bit late, and Dozier goes first to third on the air.
And he did not hesitate one bit around second base. He didn't look to see where Alonso was. And there's not the foul territory here that we see at the Coliseum. And, you know, might have been, well, he's going to take one base off the glove of Alonso. Alonso went after it, but once Dozier got up, saw where the ball was, he went to second and then just kept going to third on his own. Did pick up his third base coach, but it was all on his own. And hold the tag. Now the infield has to come in, and hoping that a sinker ball pitcher gets a ground ball to one of the infielders. So it's E on somebody. Went off the glove of Alonso. Here's it's on the pitcher.
So the A's commit their 23rd error of the year. 2-2 pitch. Tapped, and it is just foul, as it looked like it hit Dozier.
The throw over Dozier is Alonso had to reach over him and just off the end of his glove. So basically you could say it wasn't a great throw by Kendall Graveman, and just like we saw a couple of nights ago in a throw over to first base, nobody's going to be running, and the A's ended up scoring big. But sometimes there's a courtesy, and after Dozier did run, thought maybe he might be running again.
So another 2-2 with the infield in. And this one is popped up.
Wow.
That one hung a little bit.
Wow.
Sano just missed it.
Look where this ball is, right in the middle, and if you could see Sano's eyes, they probably were very, very large, wondering how did I not crush that one in the upper deck.
Joe Mauer is the on-deck hitter. Plouffe, the third baseman, is playing about his normal spot. The other three infielders are in. Just a bit outside. Did he go? No. So now full count.
That was a cut fastball. He started, but very, very strong, able to hold up his swing on a pitch that started on the corner, but he read it and did not swing at it.
Two pitch spins inside, and it's a wall.
Time now for the Nissan keys of the game for Kendall Graveman. Stop the streak and a bad trip. That's all combined because the A's a losing streak and it's been a bad road trip. And for the offense, you got to see the ball longer, especially against Santiago. If you do that, you stay back and maybe take some of the change-ups to the opposite field versus rolling over on them, as a couple of the A's hitters did in the first inning, or top half of the first inning. So a combination of Kendall Graveman continuing his success and giving offense a chance to score some runs. If you could get a ground ball double play here, the walk to Sano will not be that bad.
Mauer, 226. His first home run came last night. Got 10 RBIs, hitting the cleanup spot. His home run went to left center field. Mauer taking, and it's in first strike.
This is Joe Mauer at his best, going inside out swing, opposite field, left center with a home run. And it was 3 in 1 inning by the Twins, 6 overall for the Yankees.
Off the plate inside. Mauer, interesting note, Ray, he's got 84 at-bats this year. He has only struck out 6 times, and he's only walked 5 times. So he's putting it in play a lot.
Yeah.
Best contact percentage in the majors.
Well, the Nissan keys the game, see the ball longer. He's the perfect guy to have that note because he sees it as long as anybody. That's why he hits a lot to the opposite field, doesn't strike out a lot. Graveman just not sharp with his pitches, and really they're not even close enough that the hitters are going to be offering at him. That could be a little frustrating. Just have to make sure you don't give in to the hitter and throw one in the middle of the plate with no movement.
So be careful here. 3-1. Kenny's Vargas, a switch hitter in the on-deck circle. And Mauer takes a strike at the knees. 3-2.
This is the lowest part, strike zone, and good movement right at the bottom part of the strike zone. Now will Sano be on the move? Be a good time considering a man who does not strike out a lot. So you have to think Sano will be on the move to stay out of a double play.
And he does run. And the pitch is low. He walked in. So the third walk in the inning by Kendall Graveman. Ray, first 4 starts, 5 walks total.
Right. Exactly. None of them last start. Yeah.
So that's strange.
You know, he's keeping the ball down low. There's a lot of movement, but the Twins are very patient. They're not swinging at any of the pitcher's pitches, and you can see Kendall shaking his head. But you know, he's 1 ground ball away from get out of the inning.
Yeah, and it's not like his sinkers are all over the place. I mean, Joe Mauer took a RBI position here.
Right.
First and third, a 3-1 pitch called a strike, and it was. But it's a kind of a pitch down in the strike zone that Mauer usually swings at. He did not swing at it, and then he ends up walking.
You know, the thing with Mauer on that 3-1 pitch, if he couldn't get under it to drive in the air, he didn't want to beat it in the ground and possibly hit into a double play.
So here's Kenny's Vargas. That pitch runs off the plate. Again, it's a close pitch. Didn't miss by a lot, but it is off the plate a touch. Vargas, the designated hitter, was brought up from the minor leagues about a week ago. So Dozier, Sano, Mauer are your base runners. And that was a good pitch.
Yeah.
And Mark Wegner may have missed it. And Graveman needed that one to be called a strike.
Bob Melvin's asking if it was down, and should have said no. It was a perfectly thrown fastball, sinker.
Same pitch.
Yep,
In fact, I think the one before that may have been more of a strike than that.
But you know, the fact that he didn't swing at it's amazing. And going to go inside, the ball really running almost off the plate. But that's an easy 96 with a tremendous amount of movement.
That one ripped into the Twins dugout and then bounces back out. Jeff Smith, first base coach, tracks it down. So 2-2 the count. Graveman needs a ground ball or a strikeout. Well, he'll take a pop-up too. Jason Castro, left-handed hitter, waits in the on-deck circle.
You know, the way that big swing, I take a strikeout because Vargas is a very powerful young man. Castro, a home run last night, a base hit.
Oh, he laid off.
I check everything. Just maybe you get a call from the third base umpire.
Graveman about to throw his 30th pitch, and there's just one out. Nowhere to put Vargas. And there's a broken bat, little flare into center for a hit. It's going to drive home a pair. Mauer's going to go to third, and the Twins lead 2-0. So the walks end up hurting Graveman.
And, you know, you can't say it's a broken bat, fluke, whatever through the infield. The fact that it was a backdoor cutter at 90 up in the zone, and Vargas off the end of the bat. Look at his bat. He's holding the handle as he runs to first base, but that's how strong he is. He got it past Pender at second base. Kendall Graveman. And look at the walks of putting himself in a bind.
Well, I agree with you, though. I think that the biggest story with the walks is the Twins' patience.
Exactly.
And that has been an area where they've been really good this year. Major improvement from last year. Castro takes a strike on the inside corner.
You know, one of the problems a pitcher has if he's not around, or at least a lot of pitches caught out of the strike zone. And sometimes an umpire just says, I can't give you anything close because you're not throwing strikes. And it's a hard way to look at it, but sometimes there's truth in that. Those sinkers are working great now.
So 0-2 to Castro. Switch hitter Eduardo Escobar is the on-deck hitter. Last year, the Minnesota Twins had the third most strikeouts in the American League. This year, they have the second fewest. That's a major improvement.
How many
We're
losses?
not talking about a lot of different players. It's for the most part, the same group. They have the second most walks this year in the American League. That's a huge improvement. So when you have generally a young team and you see those improvements, I think the Twins are pretty happy about that.
They lost over 100 games last year, and now they find themselves 1st of May, 2 games over 500. That's a big turnaround for the club.
Twins 13-11, and they've won 3 in a row, and they've won 5 out of 6. Half game behind the White Sox. They're tied with the Indians and the Tigers. Castro. Davis comes in. Mauer tags, and Mauer does not go. So Joe Mauer bluffed, and
Thank you.
I agree. So that's the second out, and it's a big out.
Well, Chris Davis has been working on his throwing. He has a different throwing motion, but cutoff man was there, and what Trevor Plouffe might do is go out and get the ball a little bit quicker. Fortunately, Joe Mauer didn't run. I'm really shocked that he didn't.
Well, it looked like he was, and he came about 4 steps down the line and then stopped. So with 2 outs, here's Escobar. Graveman just trying to limit the damage. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Escobar playing shortstop at 235. Couple of home runs. 6 RBIs. It was Jorge Polanco who has been playing a fair amount of the shortstop for the Twins this year. For Escobar, this is his 13th game. So the pitch count a major concern at this point. More balls than strikes and 37 pitches thrown here in the first inning. Tapped back to Graveman, who grabs it on the first side, retired. So a couple of runs for the Twins. We're through one. Minnesota 2, the A's nothing. Sean Doolittle placed on the disabled list for the Athletics. The left shoulder acting up again, and it's been a little bit of an issue for Sean for a while now. Cesar Valdez was designated for assignment. A couple of right-handers brought up from AAA, Bobby Wall and Josh Smith. Now, Josh Smith has been in the big leagues a little bit. Bobby Wall has not. So this is if we see him, it'll be a major league debut for Bobby Wall. So 2 new relievers are in the A's bullpen tonight. Doolittle on the disabled list. So,
and it means
disappointing.
One lefty, Daniel Coulomb, and that's it. Sean Doolittle and Coulomb. So Coulomb actually is going to be the lone lefty in the bullpen.
2-0 to Chris Davis. There's a line drive to right field and a base hit for Davis. Kepler backhands it. So Davis has a leadoff single, and the A's have their leadoff man aboard. That's good news.
Cappy took a changeup. It was down and away, check swing, and then got a fastball away and see the ball longer, go to the opposite field. If they do that approach tonight, the righties, is going to score a lot of runs. That's a great job of hitting. If you go out and try to get his changeup, you're going to roll over on the left side. And that's exactly what you don't want to see. And that is great for him. 10 hits to the right side. And of course, some of those home runs.
So this is Fegley. Fegley takes a first pitch strike. Fegley 226 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Rosales to follow here in the second inning. Twins leading 2-0. So obviously frustration, Ray, for Sean Doolittle. I mean, he just cannot stay healthy, and he's such a valuable guy for the A's.
And he's throwing so hard too.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever he was pitching, you'd see him and you'd think, wow, he's back for real and for good.
And that shoulder keeps acting up. Fegley taps it foul. So for Doolittle, in 2014 he was on the disabled list 1 time. 2015 he was on the disabled list twice. He only pitched in 12 games that year. Last year on the disabled list 1 time, but it was a long one. He missed a couple months, appeared in 44 games, and on the disabled list again this year.
And if he's still a first baseman, he'd never be on the DL.
That's right.
But the wear and tear, and we were talking before the game started about pitchers throwing hard and how they come up with injuries to either their elbow or shoulder. Sean Doolittle mid to upper 90s.
1-2 pitch, grounded, foul. Well, it's always with pitchers too, as far as when is he coming back, and we don't know. It's going to be a little while, but with pitchers, it just takes longer for them to get ready, because generally they're not going to, when they do get healthy and they go on a rehab assignment, they're not going to pitch every day.
Right. Yeah, pitchers usually, that's why a pitcher gets 30 days typically on his rehab, whereas a position player 20, because
Kepler headed into the corner, he's going to have room, and he makes the catch. I mean, if you're a position player, I mean, you could play a week straight, 7 straight games, and then you're probably ready to go.
Right. Yeah, and that's why they do extend it 20 for a position player, 30 for a pitcher. And in the case of the Tommy John surgeries, we found out through Zach Besh that they have the 3 10-day extensions, mutually agreeable with the club and the player, the pitcher. But the problem that a pitcher has, they build up their arm strength in spring training. Then if they lose time, they're shut it down. And Bob Melvin said he's pretty much shut down until the shoulder is okay. Well, at that point, you start losing everything that you've already built up.
So it's going to be a little while for Sean Doolittle. Hope he gets back soon.
Well, he does too, and it's frustrating for him.
Want to know to Adam Rosales. Just missed. Rosales has 15 career at bats against Hector Santiago. He's 3 for 15.
Well, the A's saw Santiago a lot when he's with the Angels, same division, but with the Twins, saw him last year with the Angels, but not with the Twins. So he's now with the team that the A's will only see a couple of times this year.
Yeah, he pitched quite a bit against the A's. This is his 12th career start against the Athletics. Missed again, 3-1. I think with Santiago, it always seemed like he pitched decent against the A's, but he never pitched deep into the game. He always seemed to get to 100 pitches quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of bullpen help.
Yeah. And that got me to thinking. I looked at his innings pitched in his starts this year. 5 innings, 6 1/3, 7, 6 1/3, and 5. So a little bit of the same. But he's still pretty good.
Yeah. Well, this is where he has the confidence to throw his changeup, whether he does it or not. But that's where a hitter has to be a little bit concerned about it.
And the 3-2 pitch, a fastball, and Rosales swings and misses.
You know, there's enough of a scouting report that he might throw it. Watch out, Rosie just a little bit tardy on the swing. He waited. 91 fastball down the middle, and that's one normally you figure on 3 and 2 you're going to hammer it, but maybe just the thought in the back of your mind that he might pull the string at 85. You don't want to roll over, and as a result, 91 gets by you.
A little bit of everything for Santiago, but mostly the fastball change. Boy, I read that too quick. The thing down at the bottom, it said splitter, and I thought it said spitter. I was like, well, wait, tell me, wait. He's got a spitter? My partner knows that better than anybody.
Well, it would not be on a scouting report. I know that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I misread it. But I saw
they would call those super sinkers.
So splitter, thought it said spitter. There's the strike.
Down to last night, Tonkin said, enough of those first pitch fastballs. Do you know what Eddie Guardado said today? It's not the fact that it was a first pitch fastball, it's the location. And he's right. It's right down the middle. But up 9-0, you figure maybe he's going to take a pitch. He did not. Jumped on the first one, given 5 home runs on the season.
5 homers, 15 RBIs for Yonder Alonso.
He's everyday Eddie. Many years as the closer for the Twins. Born in Stockton, lives in Southern California. Not a bad guy to have in the bullpen to get the guys ready to come in the game.
Yeah, when your nickname is every day, and the thing was that you pitched, it seemed like you pitched every day.
Yeah.
Well, then he's going to know how to get young guys warmed up, right?
Well, and it's very disappointing for him too when they find out that they pitched 2 days in a row and they're shut down for a day or two.
Yeah, he's like, what? Do you know what my nickname is? Slice foul. Eddie Guardado, 187 career saves.
One of the most memorable was that he gave up, actually, I want to say Mark Ellis hit a 3-run home run off him, but prior to that, trying to think, somebody hit a 3-run home run off Billy Koch. They made it a 4-run game. Mark Ellis hit a 3-run game. A.J. Przinsky hit the 3-run home run off of
That's right.
off of Billy Koch, and then Eddie gave up a 3-run to Mark Ellis, but still won by a run. So that was in the postseason.
Ray Durham made the last outing.
Yes, he did. He didn't know he was supposed to be up.
That's not good.
Hey, Ray, get a bat. Oh, okay, he's at the end of the bench. But
Was that 2002?
2002,
right?
yeah.
Full count, 2 outs. So the runner at first, Chris Davis, he's going to be off on the pitch. There he goes. And it's low. Close.
Well, that's a pitch in the zone. It's hard to take, not knowing. In this case, what Mark Wegner's going to do. Pitch cast, does it show a little bit low? Wow. Yeah, I know.
See, for Yonder Alonso's sake, certainly glad it's called the ball, but how can an umpire not call that a strike?
I agree.
It's
last night
down the middle.
Last night, Mike Winters did, and Jed Lowry, the same pitch on 3-2. It was called out, and pitch cast is right on. It shows it. So maybe the A's can do something with that help.
Chance for Pinder, hits one high into right center field, hit pretty well, but Buxton at the wall, and he makes the catch. Bumps up against the wall, side retired. So Pinder hit that ball well. The outfield gets big out there. So the A's do not score. They strand a pair. Starts on NBC Sports Bay Area. Tomorrow at 6:30, get ready for Game 2 with the team that you've watched all season long. Papa, Saint, Helena, Roz, and our insider, Monty Poole. So the Warriors looking to go up 2-0 on the Utah Jazz in their second round matchup. Played extremely well last night, did the Warriors. Eddie Rosario, Byron Buxton, Brian Dozier here in the second inning. Twins took advantage of 3 walks by Kendall Graveman in the first inning. 2 of those scored. Kenny Vargas had an RBI hit.
Well, that was off the end of the bat, 2-run single, but he got Castro, Escobar now trying to get Rosario. And his movement on his pitches is getting a lot better, and maybe it took him 5 or 6 batters, unfortunately, in the walks for him to start to feel comfortable and get in the strike zone.
Third career start for Graveman against the Twins. Rosario at .282 with a couple of home runs. 8 RBIs. It's that one high and foul. So both those starts against the Twins came last year. Ray mentioned one of them.
On Memorial Day and July the 4th, at a total of 12 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs and was outstanding. 17 ground balls combined. He had 11 here. But it was very hot on July the 4th here last year. Not as hot as Cincinnati.
Lots of pitches for Graveman. He's at 44. Shallow right center. And it's going to be Joyce who dives. He can't get it. Rosario's going to end up at second base.
That's too
So
bad.
Pinder wasn't going to get it. Rajai Davis did not look like he could get there. This is a good look.
Boy, it is up a long time, and Rajai kind of stopped and let Matt Joyce have it. But all the while, Rosario was running, and Matt had it in his glove, but actually dropped out before he got and hit the ground.
So it's a double. Well, Eddie Rosario now has a 13-game hitting streak on the heels of Mike Trout, who's sitting on a 15-gamer. Here's Buxton, who takes low. So Graveman maybe a little frustrated, and you feel like, yeah, I got out of the first, could have been worse. Make a decent pitch to Rosario, and the ball just drops in that Bermuda Triangle out there.
Mentioned last night about the manager Paul Molitor and how he hit a single and just thought about a double. And well, you think as a player playing for him, if you're not running hard and get to second on a ball like that, you're going to hear about it when you get back in the dugout. But he did run hard enough and should have been at second base, maybe even third with his speed.
1-2 now to Buxton. Buxton homered last night, knocked in a couple of runs. So after a very, very slow start by Buxton, he started to string together some good at-bats. Twins are seeing some progress. And he got him swinging.
That
fastball.
was perfectly thrown fastball.
So that's out number 1. Buxton with an unproductive out.
Down in the lower part of the strike zone on the corner. You could not have dotted one in more perfectly. 95 with tremendous movement. Got backdoor sinker, backdoor slider from a lefty, and perfectly thrown by Kendall Graveman. So when he's on, that's the pitch that comes back to the right-hander. Then he has the cutter that goes away from the right-hander, but staying on the outside part of the plate.
Here's the leadoff man, Brian Dozier. Dozier walked and scored in the first. Keep an eye on Rosario.
What was wrong with that pitch? It's amazing. Sometimes they look like, and the camera here is straight on center field, so you're not looking at an angle. Is that correct, Larry? It seems like this is maybe off center just a little bit, but probably as close to center field as
Pinder playing right behind second base. Well, it's a pretty good look at the strike zone.
Yeah.
This camera angle here at Target Field.
Well, at one time, I'm going to say the center field camera was in the upper deck area to where you're always looking at center field from a long distance, and it was right over the pitcher's mound.
2-0 now to Dozier.
Breaking ball last night to the changeup. Here's the curveball slider from Kendall Graveman, a hanger. Home run number 1. Then a little bit later, 0-2 changeup from Cesar Valdez, straight away center field. On the changeup that he crushed. 42 in a year, hit 2 last night. He has 4 in the season. And just getting cranked up.
There's a good running fastball. That one got in on Dozier. Dozier signed a long-term deal with the Minnesota Twins a while back. This is the 3rd year of a 4-year, $20 million contract. So Dozier, still the earlier parts of his career, he's got some guaranteed money. And now it's 2-2.
He had 42 as a leadoff hitter. A 4-year 20 is pretty team friendly.
Yeah.
But you got to be happy. That's 20 guaranteed, which you can't bother with that. And then have 4 good years and take it to the bank.
He'll be 30 years old in about a week and a half. Pickoff back to second.
Throwing to Rajay in center field. I think Josh Fegley, or maybe he and Pinder weren't on the same page, because Fegley threw right over the bag, but Pinder was playing almost in the outfield grass. Look where he is playing. Here comes a pickoff throw, and Pinder, I don't think got the email.
Three-two pitch, center field. Davis going back. Davis near the wall, and he's got just enough room. So that's the second out. Rosario goes back to second base.
That was a upper body swing. That was almost a full swing, maybe looking for the sinker or the cutter, because he really did not put a great charge into it. Got him back on his heels a little bit, but still almost drove it out to center field. If he had had a full swing on that, it might have gone up on the batter's eye.
So 2 outs. Here's Kepler.
Rosario played it perfectly, went almost to third base. Because with 1 out, you do not want to be tagging up in case the ball drops and not be able to score. So he played it perfectly.
Kepler hits one in the air, shallow left. Davis is there, and that'll do it. So Kendall Graveman gets out of it. The leadoff double does not hurt. We're headed to the 3rd. 2-0 Twins.
The MLB.com Advance is your #1 mobile app for live Oakland A's baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get A's home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game, video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com Advance today.
Top of the third, Twins 2, the A's nothing. Matt Joyce to lead it off. Joyce hitting in the 9th spot tonight, facing the left-hander. He's trying to get Matt Joyce going. He's hitting just 162 with a couple of home runs.
Well, he's happy to be playing against a lefty, and that's really all he wants to do is play against everybody, and feels that's the way he can get going.
Joyce was 0 for 2 last night. He did walk a couple of times.
This might be one of those things where Santiago has the good changeup. He put a lefty in, maybe take the pitch away. And so far, it's been breaking pitches to the lefties. Alonso saw a lot of sliders. Fastball down the middle he took, and now 3-0 to Joyce.
And that one is lined toward right center field. Kepler goes into a dive. He missed it. It kicks up in the air, and Joyce hustling for second. He's aboard.
Bad decision. Good decision for Matt Joyce for the double, but a bad decision for Kepler. Could have kept the double play in order with a base hit. Taking the one hop, and he goes for the spectacular dive. And a fastball, the predictable fastball on 3-0. And right there. And he went for a dive, could not come up with it. If you don't make the catch, that's what can happen. You think of a runner at second versus a runner at first. By giving him the single, he goes for the out. Matt Joyce swinging on 3-0 gets the double. So good call by the skipper to give him the green light. Yeah, maybe that's something to get him going.
So here's Rajai Davis. Second inning in a row, the A's have had their leadoff man aboard. Now they got to do something with it. A's last night had 6 hits. Only scored the 1 run. They struck out 11 times last night. So here's the struggles. 17 runs scored in the last 8 games. 88 strikeouts in 8 games.
That's almost 11 a game, isn't it?
You're close. You're right in the area. It's too much. How about that?
Very much. Yeah, your double figures in that many games, that's not good.
Rajai Davis, right field, and Kepler will play this one on a hop. So Joyce to third, and it's first and third, nobody out.
Again, a good approach by Rajai Davis, and
Kepler was not going to die for that one.
No, and good base running by Joyce, because you want to make sure. And ball stayed up a little bit too long, and Joyce thought it might be caught. You don't want to run into a double play. And Kepler, though, you're right, keeping this one in front of him and put the ball back in. So the A's the opportunity. Matt Joyce holding up. Smart idea.
So here's Trevor Plouffe, who bounced to short in the first inning. Plouffe takes a bit high. Outfield shifted a little bit toward right center for Plouffe. Some Trevor Plouffe fans, whether you get a Twins jersey or the number 3 A's jersey.
Okay, it's hard to believe it. You mentioned the offensive problems the A's have had. This is the first time since the 23rd of April against the Mariners at the Coliseum that Sunday that they've had a runner at third and less than 2 outs.
Oh, that's not good.
No, I mean, that's how bad the offense has been, and that's when the Sunday started. The loss against the Mariners on the road, lost 3 in a row, and then lost 2 of 3 and lost the first one here. But all that time, so maybe again the beginning of some things that are good.
Trevor Plouffe here at Target Field. 55 home runs. Only Dozier has more. Josh Willingham at 35. Josh Willingham hit, was he 3 years here?
Yeah, he came here from the Athletics. And, well, they were raving about him. Matter of fact, I think Josh's father was at spring training this year.
Dozier, what a play. He's going to step on second himself, throw to first, double play. Run does come in to score. So it's 2-1, but a great play by Brian Dozier. Boy, if that gets through, it's a run.
Yeah.
And Rajai Davis is standing at third base, so terrific play by Dozier, and it turns into a double play.
Played him just enough close to second base that he could take a couple of steps, dive, take it himself, and a flip to first. And Trevor Plouffe, his teammate in a few years, is out by a good stride. And so the A's get the runner in, but not in the way they would like to have gotten him in.
So 2 outs. Here's Healy. So Plouffe does not get an RBI, which I always thought that was kind of, never liked that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you figure if you put the ball in play, sure, you're making 2 outs.
I don't care if you make 6 outs.
Yeah.
If you get the run home, it's an RBI.
Exactly.
You did what you're supposed to do.
And you could say, well, if they had played in, it'd been a base hit center field. Where he was playing, they were playing back for 2. Trevor Plouffe, I'm sure, disappointed, but at least did get the run in. Didn't strike out. That's the key there. You strike out or pop up on the infield, then you still have a chance for a double play to get out of the inning. But I agree. At least he got the run in.
No, that's your job. Yeah. If it takes 2 outs to do it, that's fine. I think you should be rewarded for getting the run in. And Healy chased a bad ball, so that's the second strikeout for Santiago, but the A's get on the board. Double single and a double play. So bottom of the third coming up, Twins 2, A's 1.
Fans, you can enjoy your next A's home game in style by booking a Watches.com suite today. Visit athletics.com/tickets to book your suite. And for all A's fans, receive 20% off your first order at Watches.com by using code ATHLETICS. Those are beautiful watches, too.
Yes, they are. And you go to Watches.com, and you'll spend a long time looking at all the different selections.
Yeah. Get 20% off. Why not? That's pretty good.
Sano, Mauer, and Vargas here in the bottom of the third.
Well, this is what happened to Kendall Graveman. His last start against the Angels, gave up 2 in the first inning. His club could only score 1. He went 6. He would like to go 6 tonight to be able to keep the pitch count down low enough to do that.
Well, what he needs is a couple quick innings. What did he throw in the first inning? 38, 38
yeah.
39?
Yeah, and then in the second inning, he's got now a total of 59. So, but you know, I know you've heard me say this before, and I strongly believe that sometimes it takes a pitcher a few batters to get really feeling good. And as a result, the pitch count gets up, and you start looking at that and say, hey, got to go. You know, get close to 100. And talking to Joe Palmer last year, he had a game 169 pitches in a game, in a playoff game. Of course, you know, nobody counted pitches. Now it's a big thing. Bloomwood, I think Catfish told me one time he had 172.
I believe that.
Yeah.
My question is, if nobody was counting, how did Jim Palmer know it was 160 minutes?
Because the pitcher the next day kept the chart.
So he counted them all.
Yeah. And Jim Palmer would know.
He remembers everything.
But now, of course, Adam Roden, and, they've got Kurt Young will count pitches, and they've got it on the scoreboard. But usually the next day starting pitcher would be in the stands or in the dugout and chart every pitch thrown by the hitter.
Base hit left field. That one just stayed up, and Sano, so strong, he's got a base hit.
Well, he got to count 3-2, and that's not a good formula for pitching to a power hitter. And to leave it up, the fact he hit on top of the ball and hit a ground ball into left field for a base hit, you just hope he didn't get under it and put it in the second deck, because he is that strong.
So here's Joe Mauer, who walked in the first inning. Graveman back into the stretch. Spent most of the first inning in the stretch, and, well, he spent most of the second inning in the stretch as well. Third straight inning that the Twins have had their leadoff man on. Mauer takes low. Joe Mauer in his career, 1,845 career hits. Not too shabby. He's got a career batting average of .307. 131 career home runs. He was a good catcher.
Yes, and that's probably one thing. And I talking to him today about Buster Posey when he had that serious leg injury, but Posey was adamant, said, I want to continue to catch. And of course he is playing first base, and Joe Mauer now exclusively at first base. But he said he would like to catch, because he said you're more involved in the game. You're involved in every pitch, and now playing at first base, you could stand out there, and of course a ground ball pitcher, you're going to be active. But I think in his case, being a catcher and providing the work behind the plate maybe would justify the contract. Now he's at a position they expect to hit a lot of home runs, and he's just not going to do it.
But I can see, I mean, you never really had to move off a position for a long period of time. But I can see if you were a catcher and then you move to a different position, that would be really hard.
It's horrible.
I mean,
that's the worst thing in the world. You take you out of your comfort zone. And you may not get the bumps and bruises and all that, but the bottom line, you're comfortable in a position because you work hard at that craft. But no, you move around, and in the case of Mauer now, he's playing first base all the time. Ron Gardenhire, when he didn't catch, he DH was at Redmond. The kid that became manager, he's a backup catcher, and he would all catch the day games. Mauer would DH, but there are some games you just miss because of the wear and tear. He took a couple of shots off the head that caused a couple of concussions. One carried him so hard off his mask, went in the stands, and he said, I just could not recover from it.
Two pitch, runner goes, and the pitch is low. He walked him. So here come the Twins again. 2 on, nobody out.
Well, you have the wrong guy at the plate, Joe Mauer. If you're thinking about trying to get him swinging a bad pitch, he just won't do it.
So with Yannis Vargas coming up, Kurt Young will chat with his young right-hander.
68 pitches, third batter into the third inning. That's not good in today's world of pitch counts. And, really tonight, Cap, I think he's got so much movement on his fastball that maybe he's moving out of the strike zone. And you fear the fact that as a catch, you want to try and make an adjustment, end up throwing something straight in the middle of the plate and suffer the damage. It's not good. 4 more strikes than balls, and pitch count at 6-8.
So here's Vargas. He's a switch hitter. Vargas had the 2-run single in the first. Jason Castro is the on-deck hitter. Robbie Grossman was the DH last night. Hit well toward Rajai Davis in deep center field. Davis is going to watch it go. That's a 3-run homer for Kenny Vargas. And now it's 5-1.
Well, the problem, there it is. Sinker, middle of the plate. And you know, you could look at Miguel Sano that we talked about on the Oakland saw last night. This guy's just as strong. And that's scary because Dozier hit a similar pitch and Rajai caught. This one just kept traveling. And that takes it from a 1-run game to a 4-run game in one swing of the bat.
Vargas has all 5 RBI. Still nobody out. Here's Castro. Castro goes after the first pitch, pops it up behind the pitcher's mound. Rosales grabs it.
In fact, last night, of course, the 6 home runs. Everybody knows about that, but they had 3 walks to score tonight, 3 walks to score. And there's your difference. And you put the walks on the free passes, and something the A's unfortunately have not been able to accomplish on the offensive side.
So just nothing going right for the Athletics right now, and that's where the frustrating part comes in. Escobar grounded back to the pitcher. He had a good swing there. It's the 4th home run that Graveman has allowed this year in 26 innings. Could see one of the new guys tonight.
I'd say that's a good chance.
Just joining us, Sean Doolittle placed on the disabled list. And he's brought up Josh Smith and Bobby Wall, a couple of right-handed relievers.
Mike Trout got Kendall Graveman opening night. Napoli got him in Texas when he broke up the no-hitter. And Aoki, of all people, got him in Oakland. So 2-run shot, solo and a solo. Tonight, the biggest one, a 3-run shot.
Two pitch to Escobar. Foul. Down to our left, about 5 sections.
And start Kendall Graveman threw 84 pitches in 6 innings. Most he's thrown this year in just 5 starts, 104 on opening night, and Bob Melvin was able to extend him in the 6th inning.
Full count to Escobar. Single walk home run. In the bottom of the 3rd. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Escobar chased out of the strike zone, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Graveman.
Well, if he was patient, it would have been a walk. Fortunately, he got a little aggressive, went out of the strike zone, or like it was a worse pitch than that. He started down, kind of went up. He went after the pitch, but couldn't make contact.
So 2 away. That'll bring up Eddie Rosario. Sinker drops low to Rosario, who doubled in the 2nd inning. Shallow pop fly that landed in right center field. Joyce made a great effort, just could not quite come up with it. This one fouled to our left, off the facing the upper deck, just above us. Make sure it doesn't come close to our good friends over in the radio booth, Vince and Ken. Drive towards center. Rajai Davis is their side retired. Damage done. Kenny Vargas with a 3-run homer. 4th inning coming up. 5-1 Minnesota. 4th inning. Another big home run for Minnesota. After they hit 6 last night, tonight they get a 3-run homer by Kenny Vargas. So lots of work to do for the A's, as it'll be Davis, Fegley, and Rosales here in the 4th inning.
Frustrating thing for a starting pitcher if you're making a start.
Buxton on the move. Buxton caught it.
Of course.
Sensational play by Byron Buxton. He was shaded into right center field. Boy, those long strides, and he covered a lot of ground quickly.
See those strides, you think of Devon White, many years with the Angels of Blue Jays, and see where he's playing, and the ball just hung up. He goes for the dive, headlong, and a tremendous play. He might have been able to just continue to run and catch it head high, but definitely a long run to get to it. Usually the ball hit that hard, it will hook a little bit. It stayed straight, did not do any movement towards left center, and Buxton was able to use his speed to catch up to it.
So 1 away. Here's Fegley. Defense has been a huge area of improvement for the Twins this year. They have made just 8 errors this year. That's the 2nd fewest in the American League. So you're not making errors, and you throw in a terrific play occasionally. That's a good combination. Dozier made a good play in loose ball.
Well, that was a good point. It's either 1st and 3rd and a run in. Instead, it was a double play, just 1 run. And Twins have added 3 more.
Kepler takes care of the fly ball from Fegley. So Fegley has hit a couple of fly balls to right field. 2 outs here in the 4th.
Yep. Thank you. Touchdown, Vikings. Yeah, that's great to have the speed, the young legs, the speed in the outfield, and track the balls that way. Really, the only miscue was Kepler. And who knows, that inning might have changed if he had played it into a single instead of a double.
1-0 to Adam Rosales, who struck out in the 2nd. 2 strikeouts for Santiago. He's walked 1.
Another improvement in their area is catching, because last year they only threw out 20 all season. They've already thrown out 8. Jason Castro should have had number 9 last night. Too quick of a tag instead of making the catch and applying the tag.
Well, Ray, they gave Castro a lot of money, a 3-year deal for $24 million. Now, he's not going to hit a huge amount. He has homered in this series, but I think there's some intangibles with Jason Castro, especially as a catcher.
Absolutely. I know his good friend Dallas Keuchel was on TV today and talking about how he misses him, but quickly talked about Brian McCann, how he has done a good job. But Jason Castro, and Paul Molitor said it tonight. He said that we thought he was going to be a better hitter than what he showed in the last couple of years. And what he has done behind the plate has been an exceptional job. And as always, he says his parents are watching in Castro Valley, so we say hello to the parents of Jason Castro. It's just that they won't see him as much this year because he's with the Twins. Did go to Stanford. I thought it was interesting. He went to college after he had signed and completed his education. Went back to Stanford after he had signed professionally and completed the education, which is very nice.
Met his family, his parents, this past off season. Very nice people.
Yeah. Well, you know he's a catcher, so he can't be bad.
No, never met a bad catcher. Well, let me think. Wait a minute.
Well, before you answer that, see the slider and again a left-handed batter. So at least Santiago's not throwing as many changeups to left. It's something that he may do more of. But Alonso has seen pretty much all sliders or fastballs from him.
Had a great chat with Bert Blyleven today. He was talking about how he sees a lot of right-handed pitchers pitching off the first base side of the rubber because they want to have a straight shot at that outside corner to right-handed hitters.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And that one to right. And that baby is gone. Long home run by Yonder Alonso. And it's 5-3. So a 2-out walk to Rosales, and that hurts. And Alonso makes Hector Santiago pay with his 6th home run.
And just talking about sliders and fastballs, he got a fastball and he did not miss it. Hit a home run against Alvarez of the Rangers, the other lefty, on his birthday, as we remember. And the only other lefty was him before tonight. And that fastball, inner part of the plate, 89 miles per hour. And Yonder Alonso last night, a solo home run tonight, a big 2-run shot, and that is huge for the A's to get 2 runs with 2 outs in the inning. And a walk scores.
So that's 6 home runs and 17 RBIs now for Alonso. He leads all American League first basemen in RBIs. Dozier, Kepler, Dozier has it side retired. Yonder Alonso having a terrific season, and that continues with a long home run off Santiago. So bottom of the 4th coming up. Twins 5, A's 3. Sixth of the year, cuts into that lead. So 5-3, Twins lead, bottom of the 4th inning. So a little life for the A's. That's good.
Well, at least they take the deficit down, because this year is 6, last year 7 total. In just 25 games for Yonder, he has 6 home runs.
Here's Buxton lead it off in the bottom of the 4th. Buxton struck out in the 2nd. So I wanted to finish that conversation I had with Bert Blyleven.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's like I learned something. So his point was, sees a lot of right-handed pitchers pitching off the first base side of the rubber because they want to hit the outside corner to right-handed hitters. Right?
Yep.
He said he thinks a right-handed pitcher, if you want to do that, you should move to the third base side, because the angle is different, but you already have the movement away from a right-handed hitter if you're trying to hit the outside corner, throwing from the third base side of the rubber. He said, well, you already have then that good angle.
That's right.
Going away from a right-handed hitter.
And it forces you to finish like that, and that should have been called a strike. But
at his point, I mean, it was interesting because he said what happens is if you're on the first base side and you're trying to hit the outside corner, you need to throw the ball straight.
Really, right over the top.
Yeah. And he said, well, then you're throwing a straight ball. If you are in the third base side of the rubber and you're trying to hit the outside corner, you're not going to throw it straight because if you do, you'll hit the right-handed hitter.
That's exactly right.
And I thought it was really interesting. Never thought about that.
And it's the
Bert
same.
would know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the same.
Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And if you think about a lefty, and we always talk about Manaea, for example, by throwing inside, it's the same area in which he throws outside to a left-hander
Yeah.
inside to a right-hander,
Sure.
same zone, and it forces you to finish
Gotcha.
instead of trying to guide the ball.
No, I mean, we're not saying it's
Everybody's
right or
different.
wrong. It's Bert's theory on he thinks if you want to hit that outside corner and you want to move around on the rubber and you're a right-handed pitcher, well, you should go to the third base side. Line shot. Davis has to hustle over. He can't get it, and Buxton can fly. He's going to hit the bag at second, and he's going to make third without a problem. That young man is fast. Wow.
Now they robbed Chris Davis and then hits a triple, but to the point of a strike being called or not called, this is the same pitch that he took for a ball. He hits it for a triple. And Kendall Graveman, well, came back a little bit too much in the middle of the plate, but those long strides cut the bag quickly at first base. And then easily into third base, not even having to slide, probably not even breathing hard.
So Buxton, that's his first triple of the year. He'll have more. And here's Dozier. Infield has to come in. And the pitch runs into Dozier. So William Hendricks just now starting to throw for the A's as Graveman he's been in trouble every inning.
This is his fourth inning, second batter of the fourth inning. He has had 8 3-2 counts, 1 3-1 count.
And the leadoff man has been on every inning. In fact, the leadoff man has been on in all 4 innings with a walk, a single, a double, and a triple. So it has just been a struggle for Kendall Graveman, and he's already had 90 pitches. Don't see him struggle a whole lot.
That stays in, it's help. Not a lot of foul territory here. Kurt Young saying to Scott Emerson, Emo, how quickly can Liam Hendricks get loose? Because he's getting close to his limit. It's the second start since returning from the disabled list.
Yeah, 84 pitches for Graveman in his last start in Los Angeles. Dozier takes low.
And Kite, to your point about the young players who came up, the pitchers who came up, if Yonder had not hit the home run and made it a 2-run game, you might have seen them. Yeah. But since it's now a 2-run game, but it had been a 4-run, might have seen them, but different story. And we saw that against A.J. Griffin and the Rangers in Arlington when Matt Joyce hit the 3-run home run, made it close. See, if we call that consistently, sure would help Kendall Graveman.
So 3-2 the count. Kepler to follow, left-handed hitter.
You've said that 9 times tonight, by the way.
What's that?
3-2.
That's right. 9 and counting.
Yeah, and that's not good. 9 times 5 is 45, and then you've actually 6. That helps.
Tough little hop, and it's handled by Rosales, and he throws out Dozier for out number 1.
Well, that's because of the pitch count right there. There's nothing to do except pitch count. Gets a ground ball, and Kendall's probably thinking, let me stay in here, but he just did not want to take a chance. Second start off the DL.
So 3 1/3 tonight for Kendall Graveman, and he struggled. So he's going to leave. 5-3 Twins lead when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Comes in both 4-door and 5-door options. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
So 5-3 Twins lead. It's the bottom of the 4th inning. Lots of offense so far in this game. Kendall Graveman really is his first tough start of the year. He's had 4 good ones. Well, he's going to have to get rid of this one and get ready for his next start, which will be at home. So Liam Hendricks takes the baseball.
And a former Twin, and guys were asking, you can see him gloving his face, and there was an article recently, John Hickey wrote the article and said how angry Liam Hendricks has become, and he said that made him a better pitcher last year in the second half. So whatever it takes, get angry.
There's Kepler, takes inside. Kepler has struck out and hit a fly ball to left field. Infield still in. High fastball, swing and a miss. Hendricks, an original signee by the Twins. That was back in 2007. He finally got to the big leagues in 2011. Well, with the Twins, he was a starter. And he bounced around a little bit. Toronto, Kansas City, back to Toronto. And second year with the Athletics. But all those times until 2015, his second year with Toronto, he was a starter. The Blue Jays put him in the bullpen. He was really good. And after a slow start, he was pretty good last year. Nice play by Rosales. His throw to first is in time. Buxton comes in to score, though. So Kepler on the ground ball. He'll get an RBI, and the Twins now lead 6-3.
Well, you said Adam Rosales a little upset with himself, but really had no choice, especially ranging up the middle. And Buxton broke back for some reason. Maybe he thought he was going to the pitcher, but with Kepler's speed, did not take the chance. He looked, thought about it, now go to first base. And if he hesitated any longer, he wouldn't have gotten Kepler. So you got to get the out, the sure out, which he did. Surprisingly, Buxton broke back to the bat initially. But maybe because he thought it was going to go back to Hendrick and he did not want to be caught off.
So Sano steps up. He's been on base twice. Good pitch there, a little slider. So that run charged to Kendall Graveman, so he has done 5 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. 4 walks. That was a big part of the story for Graveman.
Yeah, unfortunately, with 3 of them scoring, that really did some damage. Well, as I said, when you pitch every 5th day, now he's got to wait till Monday. He said they're off day on Monday, so his next start Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5th day. So he'll have that look for the next 4, wondering how quickly can I get back on the mound, and that's the problem in the 4-man or 5-man rotation. And pitching essentially once a week, sometimes 2, depending when you start.
2-1 pitch is right there. 2-2 to Sano.
And I think a lot, Cap, if you're talking about setting up on the pitching slab and all that thing, but bottom line, if your pitchers are moving too much, I mean, we saw how great it was in Texas against the lefties. It moved great for strikes. But sometimes it can move off the plate to the point that if you have a patient hitter, which the Twins have tonight, that is the 10th 3-2 count tonight that they've received in just the 4th inning. And 3-1 count to Dozier to start the game. A lot of pitches thrown and a lot of hitters counts for the Twins.
Rolled foul. Sano got a fastball to hit, maybe a little bit down in the strike zone. Joe Mauer would be next. Hendricks just trying to get his team back in the dugout. Good slider on 3-2, and he gets the strikeout side retired. Another run for the Twins. So top of the 5th coming up. 6-3 Minnesota. The A's on the go with NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app. It's presented by your Northern California Honda dealers. You can always pick out the A's fans with especially with the gold tops. They stick out in any ballpark. We like that.
Yes, they do. Maybe put a jacket on, get a bit cooler, but sometimes you just have the jersey, want to show it proudly. Oakland on the front, rooted in Oakland.
Hit hard. What a play by Mauer. Mauer to Santiago, and Joyce is retired. Very nice play by Joe Mauer. So the Twins flashing the leather a little bit tonight.
Well, the glove on the left hand near the line, picked it up, fed it nicely to Santiago covering, went up the line, and excellent play by the former catcher and everyday first baseman. Joe Mauer diving. No shots off the head for that kind of a shot. But, yeah, I agree with you, Cap. If you've been a catcher and you're accustomed to catching, you can't go back there.
Well, it seems like you'd be bored.
You are.
I mean,
it's very boring.
You're so used to being really involved. I mean, absolutely involved in every pitch. Then you're standing out at first base. Not that there's not plenty going on in a big league game, but still.
But I still remember a couple of years ago when Jesse Hahn had the shutout against the Tigers. I think it was Memorial Day 2 years ago. And Stephen Vogt was 0 for 4, biggest smile I've ever seen, because he contributed to a shutout. And those are rare in today's game. Actually, complete games are rare.
So 2 quick outs here by the A's in the top of the 5th inning. 65 pitches for Santiago.
Obviously, with Trevor Plouffe coming back to the Twin Cities, having played here, a lot of articles about him, and didn't know that the number 3 was the number he wore as a kid growing up. And his number 24 is retired in Oakland, Ricky Henderson, but we've shown that number also with the great Harmon Killebrew, that were retired here in the Twin Cities. That's why he didn't wear 3 here, because of Harmon Killebrew.
Walked by the Harmon Killebrew statue as I walked into the ballpark today. It's really a cool thing here. As we talk about how much we like this ballpark, but really the main entrance to the park, Ray, is in right field.
Yeah, they have Kirby and Harmon Killebrew, and they've got there's Harmon Killebrew.
But it's a really nice big walkway that you can kind of hang out, stand around, and it leads right into the big entrance out there in right field, and it's really kind of coming from downtown. And see, there's the walkway right there. You can see it behind Kirby Puckett. It's the big parking lot. It's a fun little walk.
Yeah, that shot you just saw Kirby Puckett was in the '91 series against the Braves. And when he hit the walk-off, Game 6, and he said, "We'll see you tomorrow."
There it is. Yep, that was awesome.
And I think the Polas, Mr. and Mrs. Polad, are out in the Plaza area as well.
Yep, yes they are.
And I want to try to think of the longtime writer. Gosh, I can't. He's got.
Yeah, what's his name? Longtime writer, sports writer.
Yeah.
He's got a statue out there. Yeah, Sid Hartman.
Sid Hartman,
That's right.
yeah.
Yep.
He's got a microphone, and he's standing right on the corner saying, "Come on in." Sid Hartman. Nice area there. Here it is. This is Kirby. Home run.
Center from Mitchell.
Jack,
And we'll see you
tomorrow. There it is. Watch it. There it is. Dan Gladman. Number 44, Chili Davis.
That's right. So when he kind of pumped his arms a little bit, that's the statue.
That's the statue.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Trevor Plouffe, a base runner.
Yeah, what a great man, Kirby Puckett. Man, did he die too soon. Made the catch up against the plexiglass in left center. And here's the catch. Kirby could do this as well as anybody. Plexiglass up and caught it. See Tony Olivo is number 6 retired. Way up. That's some elevation sensation, as the great Tim Roy would say. But he went up and got it and then hit the walk-off. But the deke at second base. I'm trying to think who was running from first to third and stopped. He got deked at second base.
Was that Lonnie Smith?
Lonnie Smith, yeah, thank you. But 10-time All-Star, and you think about his years, 12 Major League seasons, we saw over 2,000 hits. 200 hits 4 times. And really, his glaucoma hit in the head, face, and glaucoma had it prematurely in his career. But because he was so great in his 10 years, that's what they look at in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
And that's why he's in there. Deservedly so.
Kepler in right field has it. So the A's get the 2-out walk. Nothing else. Kirby Puckett, one of the all-time greats. There he is. Limited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. More people headed to the disabled list. Big names. Corey Kluber is there, and so is Cole Hamels. How about that? Players of the month, Zimmerman and Trout. Pitchers of the month, don't forget about that. That was Ivan Nova and Dallas Keuchel. And the judges done it again. Aaron Judge with his 13th home run tonight for the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, but the Blue Jays are leading the Yankees 6-5 in the 7th inning. So, as always, lots going on around Major League Baseball.
Type of we've talked about, and I think we're seeing it more and more. Cole Hamels a little bit different story because that's an oblique, so that's extended period of time. We've seen more guys put on the 10-day disabled list.
Seems like it.
And really, I think in the case of, say, Sean Manaea, Kendall Graveman, they missed one start, but it's not 15 and missing at least 2, maybe 3. So the 10-day, which is new in the CBA agreement, allows it to go on the 10-day instead of 15. At one time, pitchers had to go for 21.
Had to?
Yes. That was a while back, but dropped down to 15. And that was 15 for everybody. It was 15 for position, 21 for a pitcher. So that's, and they're talking about possibly, Ken Rosenthal was talking that maybe Chris Sale would be suspended.
Rosales has it. Throws across, Mauer's out.
If you do a suspension for a pitcher, you have to do more than 5 days because otherwise you're just missing one start. You have to go at least 10. We'll see what happens after the Boston-Baltimore fiasco.
Well, Cole Hamels was supposed to start last night. And he was warming up in the bullpen, and he got the sharp pain in his side, and that was it. Strained oblique, and you're talking. They're expecting him to be out for 8 weeks.
Well, they're having a tough time anyway. Well, Kenny Vargas, this was after a walk to Joe Mauer. Was preceded by a base hit by Sano, and this ball just flipped over the center field wall. So between Sano from the right side, Kenny Vargas. It's pretty powerful, guys.
Drives that one toward Matt Joyce, right at him, and he makes the catch. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Liam Hendricks trying to have the A's first 3 up, 3 down inning tonight.
Yeah, we talked about this and the importance of, first of all, the 2-run home run by Yonder Alonso, and Liam Hendricks trying to do something out of the bullpen, be kind of the long man, maybe go a couple of innings and then turn it over to somebody else, but try to stay close to the Twins, see if the offense can come back and win it.
Castro is at a fly ball to left field, and he's popped to short. Astros leading the Rangers again. It's 4-1, top of the 6th inning in Houston. Martinez and Morton, the 2 starters there. Astros have won the first 2 games of that 4-game series.
Gonzalez hit the 3-run home run against Montes on Sunday. Came back last night, the grand slam to win it.
That was a big one. Whew. Part of a 5-run 8th inning for the Astros as they came back to win last night, 8-7. Astros are rolling. Best record in the American League, 18-9, and winning again tonight.
Frankie Montas are good. I mean, he's going to be excellent. Good changeup from Liam Hendricks. Frankie with a good fastball, approaching 100 miles per hour. He's doing a good job with him this year, just bringing him along slowly in the bullpen, trying to keep watch on his innings pitched since he's just mid-40s last year because of an injury.
Shift is on for Castro. He could bunt for a double if he wanted to, even though there's 2 strikes. There you see the shift. Rosales playing over behind second base.
Liam Hendricks throwing about 97 miles per hour. He could be late with his swing and hit a base hit to left field easily.
Like that?
Yeah. See, I think in this case, you look at the velocity and you know, we talk about when you see the shifts, and they're assuming he's going to pull the ball with 2 strikes just like he would with no strikes starting to get bad. And I believe good hitters will shorten up and make contact. And if you've got the hole on the left side as big as that is, and you get a fastball and you're letting the ball get to you a little bit longer, it's going to be a base hit to left field.
3-2 now to Castro. Escobar hoping to get a chance to hit in this inning. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Castro threw the bat, thought he had ball 4, has a little chat with Mark Wegner. Liam Hendricks has the 3-up, 3-down inning.
Coors Light for a special ticket offer. Visit CoorsLightBaseball.com today to get 50% off the purchase of up to 8 tickets for select home games, including the upcoming May 5th game versus the Detroit Tigers this coming Friday. Coors Light and the A's together, our mountain is creating a more sustainable world. That is a beautiful shot of downtown Minneapolis.
Marvelous look,
Wow.
6-3. That's good looking.
Yeah.
Super Bowl is here.
When?
February.
I mean, this year coming up, the next one. I didn't know that.
Brand new stadium.
Stick around with you, man. You know all that stuff.
The Vikings have the new football stadium, and second year in, they're going to get a Super Bowl. How about that?
You know, I wonder how did they get rid of the Metrodome?
Hawk Harrelson.
Did he?
Hawk Harrelson, who did not like the Metrodome, and he was put in charge of getting rid of it, the White Sox announcer, and believe it or not, he pulled it off.
Do we have any
You
shot?
didn't know that?
No, do we have
I
any
thought
shot of
you
that?
knew that. I thought Hawk told you that.
No.
He's the one who
Imploded it?
Yep.
Put all kinds of dynamite in it and just push the button?
Well, he probably had somebody do it for him, but he was certainly in charge of the whole production. And they built the new football stadium right there. The old Metrodome was. Davis to the backstop. Yeah, it was Hawk.
It was Hawk?
Yeah.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, Hawk, you're the
Told
best. All it took is pushing one button.
Yeah, well, he did a little prep work, and then.
Isn't that amazing? Just.
Oh, Hawk, you're the best.
You know, it's amazing how they can position all the explosives inside, and it all just comes down.
Comes down.
How about when they built the new Boston Gardens? Remember, we drove by and we could see them building the new one right next to the old one.
That's right.
How did they get rid of it? Just put it right down and it was gone. And it's amazing.
No collateral damage. High in the air toward Buxton. Buxton backing up right on the warning track, and he makes the catch. Chris Davis just missed it, and he's the first out here in the 6th inning.
Well, that was just kind of a get-me-over fastball, and Chris Davis had to use all of his power and could not hit it out. So the base hit to right field, robbed by Buxton on the ball to left center, and that one taken at the warning track.
So 1 out for Fegley. Fegley with a couple of fly balls to right field against Santiago. 80 pitches for the left-hander. And that one is hooked, just foul. A couple feet maybe.
A's will be playing a doubleheader in St. Petersburg against the Rays this year. Of course, the makeup in September, but the old Metrodome a few years ago, I don't remember what year it was, they were playing so poorly, they scheduled a doubleheader against the A's actually, and ended up playing great. They said, oh, we just lost a gate because it was regular doubleheader, no day-nighter. And it's one of those, they were saying, well, maybe we can get better attendance because we're not playing so well. Then they played so well.
Scooped up by Sano. Fires across in time. So 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Weekdays, Greg Papa, Ray Ratto, and Kelly Johnson bring you the Happy Hour. Also available to listen live and as a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. The Happy Hour. Check it out. They cover just about everything. Sports, entertainment, have some fun.
Well, you know, Greg Papa's good.
He is good.
He knows all sports.
Ray Ratto has the pulse on the Bay Area sports scene. Kelly Johnson, she just has to kind of referee, keep things in order.
Yeah, it's a good show.
And Rosales with a big 2-out walk in the 4th, and then Alonso homered. Santiago is probably thinking about that as he goes to 2-0 on Rosales. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts for Santiago. Pours that one in there at 91 miles an hour.
So if he shook off a changeup or a slider. He said, I'm just going to challenge him. I'm not going to walk him, throw a fastball down the middle. Fastball in.
And that was a good pitch. Tied up Rosales a little bit. Almost looked like Rosie was maybe looking away and the pitch came in.
Okay, there's what you're talking about. Left-handed pitcher on the left side throwing across into the right, inside to the right hander. It's the old crossfire.
Kepler coming in. Kepler has it, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Hector Santiago. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It'll be Escobar, Rosario, and Buxton. 6-3 Twins.
Your California Ford dealers, and Liam Hendricks coming in relief of Kendall Graveman. Good slide on 3-2, but the big Sano. Fastball down and away to Castro, gets a strikeout. So Liam Hendricks, an excellent job trying to keep the A's in this game, down by 3 as you go to the bottom of the 6th inning.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. And we got a Major League debut, folks. It's Bobby Wall. Just called up to the big leagues. Those are his AAA numbers for Nashville. So a night to remember, May 3rd, 2017 for Bobby Wall. He's a big league. Wall is 6'4", 230 pounds. He was a 5th-round draft pick of the A's in 2013. Pitched at Ole Miss. Lives in Virginia. And he's excited as he faces Escobar, Rosario, and Buxton.
Well, just throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle.
Deep breath. Oh boy. First pitch down and in. Wall was in spring training with the A's.
Threw out the first pitch, or did he throw in the big leagues? And they will authenticate that first pitch. Too bad it wasn't a strike.
Escobar is 0 for 2. Swing and a miss on a high fastball, 95 miles an hour. We're guessing that's family and friends right there. It has to be.
Yeah.
Good for them.
He's hyperventilating right now. Heart pumping.
I always wonder what it feels like for anybody who's making their major league debut when you've probably wanted to do this for, who knows, maybe since you were a kid, maybe since high school. Who knows when you started dreaming about being a big leaguer, but then it happens.
Yeah.
This is it.
This is it. Yeah. And you never ever have another.
No, pretty sure there's only one big league debut.
That's right.
3-1 now to Escobar. Rosario to follow, and then Buxton here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Twins leading 6-3. Good pitch there, fastball on the outer half.
As hard as he throws, all he wants to just get it close enough and force the hitter to swing. I think it's great when a player in the minor leagues gets a call that he's coming to the big leagues for the first time. First call, home.
Always.
Yeah. And somehow, on short notice, they forget about all those plane costs to get there. But they find a way.
There should be a discount.
There should be.
The lady on the left, we're guessing that's his mother. We do not know that for sure, but she's nervous.
Calm down.
Fouled again, left side.
And again, it's close enough that Escobar is forced to swing at it.
I want Bobby Wall.
This is twin brother on the right, shaking.
I want Bobby Wall to strike this guy out so bad.
Yeah, just want to see the whole section just jump up.
It's nothing against Eduardo Escobar. Left field. Chris Davis hustling back, and Davis leaps, can't get it. It's over his head. Escobar is going to round second and stop there, and he's got a leadoff double. So they kept working Escobar away with fastballs, and I think he started looking that way.
Well, it wasn't even really a strike that he hit. Ran off the plate a little bit, but still too close to take. He hit it and showed some opposite field power. Chris Davis playing relatively shallow, and ball almost hit the wall. Bounced short hop on the wall. Chris, valiant effort to jump, make the catch, could not do it.
So that is hit number 6 for the Twins. These have 4. There's been 1 error in the game. That was committed by the Athletics. This is Eddie Rosario. Right on the outside corner strike. Rosario, a double and a line out to center field. slider there from Wall.
First breaking ball is a good one.
Colomb, the lone left-hander for the A's, and the bullpen starts to throw. Still just a 6-3 game. The A's have 3 more at bats, so do whatever you have to do to keep Escobar from scoring. Defense pretty straight away for Rosario. Kind of sprays the ball around. Fastball away at 95 miles an hour. Rosario played for Puerto Rico in the WBC this past spring. So he had that experience, which was probably a pretty good one. To a 2 pitch again off the plate. So it's a full count with Buxton to follow.
Between Graveman, Hendricks, and now Wool. That is 13 3-2 counts tonight. 13. 9-2-2.
And here is the payoff pitch from Bobby Wall. Left field, and that's going to get down for a hit. It's going to knock in a run as Escobar hustles around third. He will score. Rosario has an RBI single. I'm not sure that was a strike. I know that was not a strike.
Ball 4. You're right.
It was up and away, and Rosario just slapped it to left field. So 7-3 Twins lead.
Yeah, this is way off. That's not even close. I mean, that could have been first and second. Instead, he gets a base hit to left field, drives in a run, thought about going for 2.
Rosario gets his 9th RBI. He's got 2 hits tonight, and here's Buxton. Nobody out. Double and a single for the Twins to open up the bottom of the 6th inning. Buxton bunts. He bunts it in the air. Wall grabs it and fires to first. Not in time. So Buxton is retired. And now to the top of the order, Brian Dozier. Twins with 2 in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 1 more here in the 6th. Those are hitless tonight, but he did open the bottom of the first with a walk. Graveman tried to pick him off and threw it away, and he went to third, and he ended up scoring. Rosario has 1 stolen base this year. Talking about where pitchers line up on the rubber. Wall is on the third base side of the rubber. That one is a strike. 1-1 the count. He's over there, not all the way over, but
far enough, a lot farther over than most pitchers in this case. But I was talking to Bert Blylev in between innings, and he was asking about Kendall Graveman being on the first base side, and talking about the movement.
So 1-2 the count.
It does make a difference. And some guys sit right in the middle of the pitching slab.
You know what, though, Ray? If a guy is comfortable in one spot, it's going to be hard to get him to move.
You're right. And there are some guys who actually go back and forth, depending on the hitter.
If you can do it, it's a good idea. Wall about to throw his 19th pitch. Runner goes, and it hit Dozier. So that's not what you want to see.
No padding, right in the elbow, right on the elbow. Ball running in. Watch the left elbow of Dozier as he tries to get out of the way. Maybe the hand, something on the left side. Oh, when you hear leather on flesh, that's not a good sound.
See where it gets him. Right on the tip of the elbow.
Yeah.
Bob Melvin is coming out. And he's going to take the ball. So Bobby Wall's major league debut. He gets one out, gives up a run on a couple of hits. So he's going to head back to the dugout. And Colomb is coming in, the lefty, to face Max Kepler.
Weekend, and fans, you cannot spell bobblehead without Bob. 15,000 fans Saturday, May 6th, this Saturday, will receive a Bob Melvin bobblehead upon entry to the ballpark. It's presented by Comerica Bank. Bobblehead includes a win counter as Bo Mel approaches 500 wins as manager of the Oakland A's. For tickets, visit athletics.com/promotions or call make it 877-493-BALL. It's 877-493-BALL. For tickets to Saturday's Bob Melvin bobblehead giveaway day. Big weekend of baseball coming up. Little League Day on Sunday. Bob Melvin will be out there greeting them because he can't wait for his day to be over.
Here's Daniel Colomb, left-hander, to face Kepler. 2 on, 1 out, and a run in. First pitch, fastball up and in, I should say.
Yeah, you can see Colomb up in the bullpen, of course, as Bobby Wall was making his debut. Figuring this would be when he would come in, only one lefty in the bullpen now, so he is facing Kepler.
Rosario at second. Dozier stays in the game after being hit in the elbow. He's at first. Check swing, no swing. Kepler is struck out, hit a fly ball to left, and hit an RBI groundout. So 0 for 3, picked up his 11th run batted in the 4th inning. to a pitch in there for a strike. Cologne got a little movement on that one. That's Taylor Rogers, a left-hander, starting to throw for the Twins.
That's Eddie Guardado to the left, the other left-hander.
Craig Breslow's in the Twins bullpen. He's the other left-hander.
Most intelligent man in baseball.
Astros now leading the Rangers 8-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. So the Astros are rolling along.
And they said they only won 4 games against Rangers last year. It's Craig Breslow. He was trying to follow the footsteps of Rich Hill, going in the rotation after being a relief pitcher for his entire career. He's got him from the Twins.
3-2 now to Kepler with Miguel Sano waiting in the on-deck circle.
So in the Twins bullpen, you got Everyday Eddie, and you got Never Say No.
Never Say No Breslow. Really fighting for that bullpen mound. He did a good job with the Athletics. Very nice guy. Line drive, right field. Joyce coming in, and he caught it. Great play by Matt Joyce.
Joyce hit the ball to Kepler that he tried to make a diving play, turned it into a double. This ball just stayed up long enough that Joyce went to his shoe tops and made a play, and the runner at second base, Rosario, he was headed to third base thinking it was going to be a base hit, and fortunately for him, that Joyce had to dive, went down to his knees, had to throw from his knees. A nice play by Matt Joyce all the way down, turned the glove, looked like he kind of spiked his left foot in the ground. See the divot come up, and that's not good because that means you're hyperextending your knee a little bit if you make that kind of a play.
Here's Sano. Curve and a good one. Snow walk, single strikeout. He has scored 2 runs. Big season. 8 home runs, 27 runs batted in. And a quick 0-2.
Throw it again. Cool's got that 12-6 curveball, and especially against the righties, he likes to throw the curveball. And the matchups, you're only one left in the bullpen. You got Joe Mauer coming up next, and to have him face him, and then of course Vargas switch hitter. But I mean, right now, a good curveball again. Might as well try it.
Rosario's been dancing around a little bit at second base. Good breaking ball, and Cologne throws 3 good ones, and he strikes out Sano. Side retired. A run on 2 hits for the Twins. 7th inning coming up from Minnesota.
Now for the Jeep drive of the game. Yonder Alonso, home run last night. A solo shot. This a 2-run home run off of Hector Santiago, the lefty. Second home run against the lefty this year for Yonder Alonso, and that made it a 5-3 game. Kendall Graveman just not as sharp as everybody expected. He got a little run support, but ended up giving up 6 runs. So Yonder leads off for the A's against the pitcher.
And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. It's the lefty Taylor Rogers who is appearing in his 12th game. Rogers, 26-year-old left-hander who pitched a lot last year out of the bullpen for the Twins, appeared in 57 games in his rookie season.
And if he is on his schedule, he's going to throw a lot of fastballs. 1.
First 1-2. Alonso is down and in. Alonso with a 2-run homer in the 4th. He also walked in the 2nd. So Yonder Alonso, a home run last night and a home run tonight. He now has 6 home runs and 17 RBIs. The most home runs that Alonso has hit in a big league season, as I check just to make sure, is 9.
That's it.
With the San Diego Padres in 2012. Last year, 7 and 56 RBIs. So it's the best start of his career for Yonder
That's
Alonso.
Right. Well, to have as many home runs as he has as the A's are playing their 27th game, that's pretty impressive. In a couple of games that he's not started, Ryan Healy has started at first base against a lefty. Tonight, Santiago, he was facing him. There's a slider.
So a good pitch there, and Alonso strikes out. 1 away here in the 7th inning. Well, Authentic Fan Fridays are back. We got one coming up. The Tigers are in town this Friday. You're going to get a ticket in our value deck, an authentic A's fan t-shirt, and a food drink voucher. Also, we're highlighting local artists for the 2017 Collector Series cheer cards. And that's this week's edition. It's Chris Davis. For details, log on to NBCSportsCalifornia.com. The local artist that did the Chris Davis was Liam O'Donnell. And we appreciate the fine work done. So head on out to the Coliseum. It's Authentic Fan Friday, A's Tigers. Tigers, always a fun team to watch. Yep. This year they're 14-12. A little bit better playing as of late. They've won 3 in a row.
Got the big man back. Miguel Cabrera, I think he's back.
Yeah, he just hit career home run number 450. Yeah. Tigers lost tonight they lost at home to the Indians. 3-2 was the final. Pinder slices one right field into the corner, and it is a fair ball. Pinder hustling for second, and he's got a 1-out double. We've seen from Pinder this year, Ray, some pretty good opposite field power.
Exactly. I'm just thinking about that, and you were mentioning that earlier when Pinder was playing, that how Darren Bush liked the fact that he's got the power to go to the opposite field. Almost hit one out to right field. Actually to center field, caught by the center fielder. This one just inside the line, barely. On the foul post, just to the left of the line in front of the foul post. So Chad Pinder, who has a home run, a couple of ribbies, and it's a second double this season.
In scoring position for Matt Joyce. Good slider from Taylor Rogers. Joyce has doubled and scored, and he was robbed of a hit by Joe Mauer. He hit a hard ground ball behind first, and Mauer dove to his left. That was in the 5th inning. Fastball for a strike, 93 miles an hour. Ryan Presley, right-hander, starts to throw for the Minnesota Twins. And the 0-2 slider. Rogers gets his second strikeout.
You can see that he just stayed with the slider. Fastball slider pitcher pretty much, and just crossed the inside to the outside part of the plate.
Ray Rogers, another one of those guys who in the minor leagues was a starter. And he actually had some real good minor league seasons as a starter. But when he got to the big leagues last year, right to the bullpen. Sometimes, if a guy's got a good arm, you got to get him in there somehow.
Frankie Montas here for that reason, because of course, they want to monitor his innings, but I think in the Orioles, Buck Showalter did that a lot. Continues to do it, where he'll take a starter, put him in the bullpen. Zach Britton is coming back. It's Mr. Perfect last year in the save department.
That one just a little bit low to Rajay Davis. 1-1 the count.
It's about all it could have been. Looked like it's a pretty good strike.
Rajay Davis is 1 for 3 tonight. 2 for 7 in the series. Couple of singles. Rajay choking up quite a bit on that bat. Dozier, he's got it retired. Pinder with a double. He is stranded. It's 7th inning stretch time at Target Field. 7-3 Twins lead. True story brought to you by McDonald's. 2006 ALDS Game 2 at the Metrodome. Mark Kotsay, here he goes, folks. 7th inning. Kendall was at first with 2 outs, and was he going to make it? Shirt out, flat tire, leaking oil, leaking gas.
Carry the piano.
And he made it. Oh, we love that.
Yeah.
He's won that game 5-2.
Swept the Twins.
They would go on to win that series 3-0. They won the first 2 games at the Metrodome,
right,
and then went home and won Game 3 at the Coliseum. Marco Scudero had a big hit in Game 3.
Big Hurt had a big home run in Game 1 at the Metrodome. I think there were a lot of people thinking the A's would not advance, but they swept it. Unfortunately, were swept with the Tigers in the same year. And the problem for the Tigers, when they swept the A's, they forgot how to play. I think there are five starting pitchers that at least made 1 error. Every game made an error.
It's hard to do.
It's very hard.
Mauer taps one over the bag and kicks off for Pinder. So Joe Mauer's aboard. give you the ruling in a moment. This is the last out of that series. Game 3 at the Coliseum.
Jason Kendall, first time in the playoffs, first time for Malkatse, and he ended up winning the division in 3 games. And it's a base hit. Thank you. You ever figure out who got the error in the first inning? Was it the pitcher? Or was it? Okay. Yeah, Mark Kotsay and Jason Kendall in Seattle. They went to each other after they clinched the Western Division.
1-1 the count to Kenny's Vargas, but it's a good team that 2016. Yeah. You start going around the diamond. Nick Swisher had a big year. Milton Bradley had a lot of big hits that year for the Yankees.
Between Swisher, Bradley, and Frank Thomas, I mean, it seemed like every day one or the other would hit a home run that one more guy would follow. They were doing all kinds of dances in the dugout. I think Big Hurt hit 38 that year.
Yeah. Colomb has it. He spins. He fires to second. There was a strike there, and the Yankees get the lead out. So Vargas is aboard on a fielder's choice.
Good thing about Daniel Coulomb to face the righties and get them out, and very calmly takes this play and makes sure he gets one at second base. The lead runner has to catch it. 360. Perfect throw to second base. Pinder get it out of the way. Sliding Joe Mauer. This is great. We're talking about just one lefty in the bullpen, but Daniel Coulomb with the outstanding curveball, he can handle right-handed hitters.
Well, you know what? He may have to do both.
Exactly.
With Doolittle out. Right now, he is the only lefty. Listen, if you have right-handed pitchers that can get left-handed hitters out, well, then you can get by with only one left-handed.
Right. Exactly.
Teams do it.
Remember the Angels for many years, I think it was Scott Shields, who had a great sinker. He faced lefties, righties, and they ended up getting a lefty from the Twins, the bullpen. I can't remember his name. He's horrible. So let's just go back to the righties. But that was the Angels for many years.
1-1 to Jason Castro. Yeah, if you got a lefty who's just lights out against the left-handed hitters, then it's great.
It's a good
but just to have a lefty for the sake of having a lefty.
Yeah. It's not. But, you know, just watching Daniel Coulomb, his curveball is one of the best. And it's kind of a 12-6. He came from the Dodgers and talked a lot to the great Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax and Clayton Kershaw.
Castro drives one into center field as Rajay Davis circles underneath it. Not bad guys to talk to.
No, and you know, and you watch Coulomb, and of course you think of the great Clayton Kershaw, where he has a 12-6 curveball. And Daniel Coulomb has the same type of delivery. He does not throw in as hard as the great Kershaw, but even he hung one the other night.
If Coulomb can just get in spots where he can use that curveball, because it's a good pitch. I mean, if you're a left-handed hitter, it'll buckle your knees. Escobar is a switch hitter, so he's hitting right-handed. Escobar doubled and scored in the 6th. He did that off Bobby Wall. He was the first hitter that Wall faced in his major league debut.
A little surprising that Josh Phegley out of the game, and there's Bobby Wall still in the dugout. But you know, the Stephen Vogt coming in, you figure he's going to be catching the 12-10 start tomorrow. The righty Gibson pitching.
That one is drilled in left field, a base hit. So Escobar has his second hit. 2 on, 2 out for the Twins for Eddie Rosario.
In the bottom 3 of the batting order has done a pretty good job for the Twins tonight.
I would say.
Rosario, with 2 outs, and a little cutter coming in the inner part of the plate. Likes to throw the cutter slider to the left-handers and the curveball to right-handers. That time he went more to the flat pitch. It's hit hard.
Colom's got to get Rosario. 7-3 Twins lead here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch, foul tip at the plate. Mariners have an early 1-0 lead over the Angels. That game in the 3rd inning. Velasco for the Angels. Iwakuma for Seattle. The Angels are playing good baseball. The Angels have won 7 out of their last 8. 15-13 record. So after a tough stretch for the Angels, they're rolling along. Mike Trout, the player of the month. Belisle, right-hander waiting. So 0-2 to Eddie Rosario. It's been Grapeman, and then Liam Hendricks went an inning in 2/3, retired all 5 hitters. Wall gave up a run. Not a lot of speed at second base in Kenny Vargas. He may have a shot to play at the plate if there's a hit to the outfield, but there's not going to be as Rosario strikes out. So a couple of runners left, and we are moving to the 8th. 7-3 Minnesota.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, what does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details. And by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica.
Top of the 8th inning. It's 7-3 Twins. Trevor Plouffe to lead it off. New pitcher for the Twins. It's veteran right-hander Matt Belisle. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. 13th appearance already for Belisle. This is game number 25 for the Twins, so he's used to being a workhorse. Started with the Reds, then Had his best years in Colorado. He pitched a lot for the Rockies. Not an easy place to pitch.
Mostly fastball slider coming out of the bullpen. Does not really overpower the hitters, but relies on control. That's a pretty good fastball on the outside corner.
2-1 the count to Plouffe, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Bilal grabs it. And he'll flip to first. And that's the first out.
Well, a big weekend coming up, as we mentioned. Second Little League Day with the A's is scheduled for this Sunday, May the 7th. The event features a pregame festival, an on-field parade for uniformed players and coaches, and a giveaway item presented by Black Bear Diner. To purchase a special ticket for Little League Day or for discounts on groups of 25 or more, visit athletics.com/Little League or call 510-638-GO-A's. Athletics.com/Little League, or you can call 510-638-GO-A's, and you can see Glenn Kuiper down by the dugout shaking hands with all the kids walking around. I'm sure be down there. Jack will be maybe stand next beside you.
Maybe you stop at Black Bear Diner first to get breakfast.
Ooh. Will you bring me a big old bear claw?
Sure. Get the grizz, and then I'll bring you some goodies.
They got good pastries there. I know you don't eat those.
That's it. I'm bringing you stuff. I'm just going to go in there and buy a bunch of stuff for you.
One on Hop Yard? Or we got one?
Yeah, there's one close to the Coliseum. There's one on Sycamore Valley and 680.
Wow.
That's the way, right at the end.
I haven't seen that one. I've gone to the Hop Yard. That one. It's a good Black Bear Diner.
Either way.
Yeah, Ryan Healy's still with poor guy. You never see him unless he's hitting because he's DHing.
Can't forget about the big fella.
Yeah, no.
0 for 3. Struggling. He got 4 hits in his last 33 at-bats.
Unfortunately, second at bat, he swung at a pitch way outside, and looks like his eyes might be watering a little bit.
Well, this is, I mean, when it's all said and done, Ryan Healy will probably have a nice year this year.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a learning curve for him as well.
Yeah.
So he takes the 1-out walk. He's need a bunch of base runners here.
And if you can walk, that's a good start.
Well, here's Chris Davis. Davis is 1 for 3. And 1 for 6 in the series. Davis hit a ball deep to center field in the 6th inning. Close pitch, missed outside. Matson starts to throw for the A's. Stephen Vogt waits in the on-deck circle. Big swing and a miss by Chris Davis. That looked like a pretty good pitch to hit. Kind of easy for me to say. I'm up here, not standing in the batter's box. Just based on the location. Very high, foul.
Big sweeping breaking ball.
Remember, Buxton in the 4th inning made a diving catch in left center field off Davis. And that would have been a double, maybe more. Lays off that high fastball at 91 miles an hour. Don't see a pitcher with a single-digit number very often, and that's what Belisle has, number 9.
Very observant.
Trying to think.
I bet he was a fan of Roger Maris, the great Yankee. By the way, I just heard that Derek Jeter's number is going to be retired this year, so they will be out of single-digit numbers.
Chris Davis strikes out. I don't know.
Fastball.
Jeter's probably borderline for me. I don't know.
Borderline first ballot.
Yeah.
Mariano will go in, and then Jeter will go in the next year since they retired in back-to-back seasons. High fastball, and after some pretty good breaking balls, he went upstairs a little bit, and Chris Davis with a swing almost like the picture you're going to give away Friday. Cheer card, man. That was the big swing there.
Little slider drops into Vogt, so first at bat for Stephen Vogt. Vogt came into the game for Fegley. We do not know if there was anything wrong with Fegley. Not heard anything. Just speculating. It's a little strange to bring Stephen Vogt into the game in what was the 7th inning.
Well, and you're going to get lefties out of the bullpen. Twins have a few down there. So Stephen Vogt, who will be in the game tomorrow with the 12-10 local start. Quick turnaround, at least, of course, this time last year the A's are sitting at just really getting ready to start play about right now after a 2-hour rain delay. And then the quick turnaround the next day.
So were we here about the same time last year?
A little bit later.
Was it?
4th of July.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's the quickest turnaround we've had.
Wow. Well, that forces you to pack early, like packed the day before.
Mauer grabs it, and that will do it. So the A's get one base runner, nothing else. Bottom of the 8th coming up from Minneapolis. Twins leading 7-3.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-5-1 for the A's, 7-9-0 for the Minnesota Twins. Kendall Graveman got knocked around really for the first time this year. 6 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. Another home run for Alonso. Hit one last night, another one tonight. Hector Santiago in 6 innings. Luis Vargas, 5 RBIs for the Minnesota Twins. So, Twins trying to make it 2 in a row in this series over the Athletics. A's will have one more shot. Ryan Madson comes in. To face Buxton, Dozier, and Kepler. Madson last pitched on Thursday, so it's been a while. Time to get him in the game. Alonso hustling over, and right in front of the Twins dugout, he grabs it. So that's out number 1, bottom of the 8th. Daniel Colon with a good outing, Ray. 1 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, that's
did his job.
Absolutely. That's got to make the skipper feel great to have Colon come in and pitch so well, knowing that he just has one lefty now. And especially for the A's with the DL, one designated, and Sean Dooley on the DL. They bring up 2 right-handers, and as you try to get the best who are pitching, regardless of lefties or righties. That's where Keith Lippman, Director of Player Development, comes in. Of course, Ryan Christensen at AAA, the manager there. And the domino start. Too early in the season for all that to happen, but it does happen, unfortunately.
You always wonder. It seems like it happens a lot with the A's. Seems like the A's use the disabled list a lot, and there's nothing you can do about it. Guys get hurt. Dozier missed it, and the count now 2-1. Dozier was hit on the arm in the 6th inning, but I believe he's okay. He was able to stay in the game. Swing and a miss.
You watch Stephen Vogt, since he's the only remaining catcher, and right hand being protected behind his back. May even do it with 2 strikes. Normally you don't see that with a couple of strikes. You want to stay with your hand out in play, but since you're the only catcher remaining, hide it. Because all the other position players are saying, please, Voter, don't get hurt.
Well, most teams do have all teams, they will have a guy who's the emergency catcher.
Well, they
whether the guy likes it or
yeah,
not.
they'll designate somebody whether you like it or not.
And that one bends Dozier back. So he'll take the walk. Well, tomorrow it'll be Jarrell Cotton and Kyle Gibson. The pitching matchup for the 3rd and final game of the series. Now you can see the game on the MLB Network. Starts at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. first pitch. Listen, watch on the MLB Network, or tune into the guys at 95.7 The Game. Ken Corrick, Vince Catroni. So there's your viewing or listening options. So Dozier takes off, and he'll get to second base.
That's not a difference either. Twins are leading, and just a great jump.
So now runner in scoring position. Kepler is 0 for 4. Manson's going to have a chat.
Loader went out, and I think he told him what they're using with runner at second. He's talking about how he's going to pitch it.
Sano is the on-deck hitter, 1 out. Drops low, off-speed pitch from Madsen. Madsen has 1 save this year. That was on the 22nd of April.
Struck out 3 with the high fastballs against the Mariners.
Good take by Kepler. Now it's 3-0. Well, the crowd tonight here at Target Field, 18,650. Most of them are gone. Pitch walk to Kepler. So that's 6 walks issued now by A's pitchers. 3 of those 6 have scored. Well, the A's will have to face the big fella Miguel Sano, who is 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. A couple of runs scored. after that day game tomorrow, it'll be, as we said, the Tigers in town for that weekend 3-game series. After the Tigers, it's the Angels. So we'll see the Angels again. Center field. Davis back. Davis near the wall, and he's got just enough room to make the catch. And Dozier is able to tag up and head to third.
What do you think everybody's thinking?
Same thing you and I were.
That's right. Well, look at this. And just a little cut fastball right in the middle of the plate. And this is simply the big man providing his own power. Last night he got a fastball 10 miles per hour faster, and it went second deck. This one caught at the warning track near the wall. And Miguel Sano just missed it. You can't hit him out all the time, big boy. You know, you got to make some outs.
So runners at the corners for Joe Mauer. Mauer's been on base 3 times, a single, 2 walks, and a run scored. He's also grounded to short. A good night for Joe Mauer.
Mauer not tagging up in the first inning on the fly ball by Castro. Thought maybe that would be an important non-run for the Twins, but it wasn't, especially with
It
Vargas.
could have been, though.
It could have been huge.
It was a mistake by Mauer.
Yeah.
So lots of action. Kinsler is the closer.
It's a non-save situation regardless, but I think Kinsler, who's been warming up at the beginning of the inning, probably would come in to get some work. Twins, one of the few teams that do not have names in the back of the uniforms. Yankees pinstripes, they never do.
They do on the road, but
Yeah,
not
on the
at
road,
home.
yeah, but not at home. The Giants are their
Giants do not have names
at
on the
home.
back
Yeah,
at home.
that cream colored.
Yeah. Twins have that little off-white uniform as well. I think the Cardinals have that version.
Yeah.
They don't wear it all the time. A little bit of an old school look with that
Yeah.
off-white color.
Well, I guess if you want to sell some scorecards, you don't put names on the back, because you got to check the numbers. And spring training, you never see a name on the back of a uniform. All practice jerseys, but usually regular season there are names.
Spring training is when you need them the most.
That's right. Well, the new practice, or when they come out for practice, they have the numbers on the sleeves. And Gordon Lakey told me it's the best thing for the scouts, because now they can tell who they are.
It's fair.
Yeah. Because otherwise they come out with nothing, no name, no number, no nothing. It's, you can't tell who they are.
Mauer down the left field line, well back into the seats. In the 9th inning, these will have Rosales, Alonso, Pinder, and hopefully more. These have scored 3 runs tonight, just 5 hits. Quick throw. Kepler, pretty good speed at first, with Dozier over at third. I've not seen the pitching matchups for that A's-Tigers series this weekend. It lines up, Triggs and Hahn would be.
Yeah, Triggs scheduled for Friday, Hahn on Saturday, he was saying. And you would think Tuesday starter, which would be last night, would be the starter for Sunday. That would be Sonny Gray.
We'll see if that holds.
Yeah.
We do not have the official matchups in the A's notes, but we have what we consider the probables, right? How about that? How about that?
That's right.
So this is as good as we're going to get, and we think we're probably right. Zimmerman and Triggs, Norris, who's a left-hander, and Hahn, and then Verlander and Gray. So again, probables, meaning probably. So, always fun. 3-2 the count with 2 outs, so that runner at first, Kepler, will not be held on and he will take off. Payoff pitch, high fastball, and Mauer swings through a 97-mile-an-hour heater from Madsen. 2 runners stranded. Last shot for the A's. Twins lead 7-3. Stay tuned after the game for A's Post-Game Live, presented by State Farm. Welcome back to Target Field. Fans having a good time. A little over 18,000 tonight. Twins leading 7-3. Twins are looking for their 4th consecutive win. So last chance for the A's, and if they're going to do anything, they'll do it against Brandon Kinsler, who is the closer for the Twins.
2 4-seam fastball, slider, changeup. Glenn Perkins, I understand, as Andy Goddard said, he came in and thrown aside, so he may be back midseason. But Glenn Perkins, their closer, their all-star closer, a couple years ago when the game was here. Kurt Suzuki is catcher, but he had labor and surgery, and been out for a while. And so Kinsler has taken over this year. A couple appearances last year against the A's out of the bullpen.
Kinsler had a couple good years in Milwaukee. He's a little hungry. It is late.
It is?
It is late, folks. A little late. Now, Kinsler had a couple good years, and then he got hurt in 2015 and ended up signing a minor league deal with the Twins and pitched in 54 games last year for the Twins. This year, he's their closer. Brandon Kinsler. 2-1 the count to Rosales, who's 0 for 2, walked and scored. That was back in the 4th inning. The A's 3 runs tonight. 2 of them have come on the Alonso home run. The other one came on a double play. Outside corner strike, may not have been. 2-2. Belisle went an inning and a walk and a strikeout after 1 inning from Taylor Rogers, after Santiago went 6. Fouled straight back, so nice way for a manager to be able to do it. 6 from your starter, 1-1-1 from the bullpen.
Well, especially with a 4-run lead, and get some work for the relievers. Starter can, I mean, for Santiago, 87 pitches. Of course, he's coming back off a bereavement, but still making the start, being the typical Santiago.
Rosales, nice at bat as he goes the other way with a line drive single.
Have some more popcorn.
Yeah, it's good luck popcorn.
Yeah. Now the fastball up. Rosie's sitting back and maybe thinking Santiago because he swung through it. 91-mile-an-hour fastball against the starting pitcher.
Yeah, it's getting thin down at the bottom. Oh well.
Oh,
I never thought I'd find a puppet so funny. Diving attempt by Rosario, and he did not get it. I don't know if it was ever fully in his glove.
No, never was.
Alonso has a base hit, so he's 2 for 3.
Well, get that puppet going again, man. Rally puppet is right. Fastball down and away, sinking away from Alonso off the end of the bat, and Rosario coming in and diving. Fortunate for him, he kicked it with his right knee to keep it in front of him. Otherwise, the dive would have been a 2nd and 3rd. Jed Lowry trying to keep it going. Got Matt Joyce behind him, another lefty. So Lowry, the switch hitter, hitting for Pinder.
Well, an opportunity
Absolutely
for the A's, and that's all you can ask for. So here comes Lowry for Pinder. Pinder well in there, went 1 for 3 with a double. Player left on the A's bench, and that's Jeff Decker. Vogt is in the game. So Rosales at second, Alonso at first. A's need a couple big hits. 7-3 is your score. Lowry swings and misses. Late life on that fastball from Kinsler. Stride, fastball at 93. Lowry thought maybe it was up a little bit. If it was, then it was not up a lot.
No, at the upper part of the strike zone, a little tailing action on the 93 two-seamer.
So now he's going to have to fight back. It was in the dirt, so.
That right there is why Jason Castro is good at what he does, and could have been in 2nd and 3rd. Instead, locks the slider in the dirt, keeps it in front of him, and it's a good job, good technique, and he will always do that.
So 1-2 the count. And a good check swing by Lowry. So Joyce to follow after Joyce, Rajai Davis. As always, trying to get the tying run to the plate.
Rajai's thinking bring on Aroldis Chapman.
Well, maybe. Let's hope that Rajai hits this in.
That would be great.
That would be a good thing.
I'd like to see Trevor Plouffe come up and do something in this place where he played for many years. That would be good.
Well, if Trevor Plouffe gets up this inning, then the A's will have gotten the tying run.
It's a good inning.
3-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back, and Lowry. That's a good swing. Got a fastball.
Now, Kinsler's in the position now where he has to throw a strike and throw with the fastball. And you'd think that he does not want to put the tying run at the plate by putting Lowry on. So there's one fastball, a good one. He fouled off nicely by Jed Lowry. A pitch running down and away from him.
So 3-2 again. Foul back. If nothing else, you're making the Twins closer work.
You know, the nice thing too, but coming in a pinch hit, you're on the bench for 8 innings. He comes in, and of course they have the cages very close to the clubhouse in this new stadium. Adam Rode, the video coordinator, is very close to the dugout. The batting cage right beside the video room. So Jed Lowry, thinking he's got a pinch hit, could go and take some swings off the tee or maybe some flips by Marcus Jensen. Get ready to go. I'm fouling off a couple of tough pitches. Got to get even looser.
Foul back again is Kinsler coming right at him with fastballs, and Lowry getting some good swings off. 8 pitch at bats so far.
And started 0-2.
He's been good luck so far.
That's right.
Missed outside, and what an at-bat by Lowry. A's have the bases loaded and nobody out here in the 9th inning.
Well, Neil Allen's going out and visit with his pitcher. Said, kid, I know this is not a safe situation for you, but you're creating one for somebody in the bullpen if you don't do your job. Well, you think back to Arlington, Texas, the Sunday afternoon that Matt Joyce came up to pinch hit. This is not a pinch hit situation, but the A's were down 3-0. He had a towering fly ball to right field. Caught by Mazzara. Wind knocked it down. This is the first pitch, second pitch, third pitch, fourth pitch, fifth pitch. Kept fouling them off and then took ball 4 that was up and away in an excellent at bat. See, those happen so rapidly.
Got to be ready.
You know, just let him go. So Matt Joyce, be selective.
First pitch at the knees, first strike. So Kinsler jumps ahead of Joyce. Joyce doubled and scored in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Davis, Plouffe, and Healy to follow. Grounded in the hole, diving under the glove of Dozier and into right field. Rosales scores. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and it's 7-4. Well, now it's officially interesting.
Matt Joyce taking a pitch away and raking it into right field. And coming around third base, and looked like Alonso's going to score, but when you're down 3, you don't want to take a chance.
So Breslow, the left-hander, starts to throw.
And you got steady diet of right-handers except for Vogt, who's hitting 5th now. So get to him, bring in Breslow. He's got to have the lead.
First pitch, not close to Rajay Davis.
Remember we saw Fernando Rodney come in from the Mariners, walking in ever so slowly in a 4-run lead, ended up coughing it up. And you know, sometimes a closer comes in when the save's not on the line, although Kinsler's not been a closer that long. Still a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. Now he does not have an out.
Rajay may have chased a ball.
Yeah. Well,
so 1-1 to count.
Just got to go for the base hit right now. This is, you know, the slam would be tremendous, but you do it with a mistake made by the pitcher. Right now you just want to keep the line going and take a base hit, choke it up like he is, take one up the middle.
And did he swing? That's foul ball. He got way in on him.
The check swing. Castro got in the mask. With him carry him off the bat. Rajay trying to stop his swing. Got him late. Protect mode now for Rajay.
Trailing 1-2 in the count. Alonso, Lowry, Joyce, the runners. Kinsler kicks and deals, and that one is blocked by Castro. I'm not quite sure how he did it.
Well, okay, the one thing that would have done, scored a run, tying run would have been a second. So that is tremendous block by Castro. Hard breaking ball, moved very quickly and smothered it. Used his whole body to block it. He gets the day off tomorrow. It's deserving. But that was a great block, and boy, that could have been a great one for the Athletics.
Two pitch, bounce toward third. Sano has it, juggles a little bit. He's coming home, and the Twins get the out there. He had just enough time. I think he reached into his glove a little bit extra. The out is made at home, so that's a big out for the Twins. Alonso's off the bases.
Well, he could have gone for two, would not have turned a double play, so he opted to go to the plate. Still the 3-run lead. Rajay Davis was not going to be doubled up on that ball, so Sano made the good play. Good stretch by Castro to make sure it's just the one out.
So here's Plouffe. Maybe a storybooks shot right here, Ray.
Yeah, can only hope.
Plouffe takes outside. Plouffe is 0 for 3 with a walk tonight.
And you know he's thinking the same thing.
How can you not? Tying runs are on base.
I think he'd take a gapper because a gapper would score Rajay from first. Put himself in scoring position, so a lot of possibilities, good things to think about. Can make solid contact.
1-0 pitch right on the outside corner, first strike. .25 pitches for Kinsler, and there's still only one out.
Well, tailing back the outside corner. And look at the outfield. See where Buxton's playing right field and where Kepler's playing. They're playing him to hit the ball to the opposite field. That means they're going to pitch him that way, and might as well try to go with a line drive.
And he chased a high fastball, and now it's 1-2.
He just trying to do a little bit too much. That ball, he missed it by 6 inches, swinging under it.
Kinsler, long look in. Now he's ready. Hit high and foul. One with a fastball away from Trevor Plouffe.
Well, the A's do not have a grand slam in this season. A couple of 3-run home runs. Only hit a couple last year.
Pitch number 28 coming up from Kinsler. And here it is. Sliced foul.
Plouffe's got to be thinking, I do not want to make an out because this is a place where I played for many years, trying to do something special. Maybe the deeper he can go into the at bat, the more relaxed he will be. And just try to drive the ball into the gap somewhere. Think of the great Harmon Killebrew with that number 3.
You get good speed at first with Rajay Davis. 1-2 pitch. Bounce to short. Escobar has it. Out at second. On to first. And that's a double play. And that's the ball game. So the A's put a scare into the Twins in the top of the 9th inning. But they're going to come up short because they had the bases loaded and nobody out. And they end up getting just the 1 run. So this is how the game ends on a Twin 6-4-3 double play.
And Dozier very strong with the throw, got him by full stride. So if they were looking at it, nothing there.
So 3 hours and 17 minutes was time of game, and it was played in front of 18,650. So the struggles continue for the A's as the Twins win for the second night in a row. Final score 7-4. You've been watching A's baseball on NBC Sports California. Coming up next, A's post-game live, brought to you by State Farm.